Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. Welcome to Not Centered Splaining the Interwebs. Welcome to Law Splaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota and a verified and certified salt mine discoverer. I have found the secret to mining and harvesting unlimited amounts of salt. No one will ever die of a sodium deficiency ever again. I have cured it. I have relatives who suffered from sodium deficiencies. Never again. I've solved the problem, and we will forever be cured of that horrible ailment. Woohoo! Okay, we've got some stuff to talk about. My voice is a little bit harsh today. I don't know why. Probably just not hydrated enough. Likely the case. Okay, so some things have happened. All right. Hair rough in the back. I was just laying down on my couch. So that's just how it's going to be. Thank you. Thank you for your concern. Good citizen. So let's talk about what's going on with this title. As you know, Friday I was not on. If you follow the channel, I was at an annual event that Lady Rackets and I go to, and spend some good time hanging out with some people. What is up? This chair is so low. Spend some good time hanging out with some good people. I hope someday to introduce you to some of them. They're very interesting. Their lives are much different than mine, and probably many of yours. We'll see. If I'm able to, I will get a couple of them on the show. But the long and short of what I was doing, or what we were doing, was we go to it's an art exposition. It's not an art show like, you go to a gallery and someone does their thing. No, this is, well, I guess it kind of is. But this artist owns the gallery, and it's their annual thing that they do. And they have other artists who come and try and sell you art, I guess. But it's basically a 2-day party with all the whiskey you could want. And since both of the artists there are whiskey friends, can't call them whiskey fiends, right? They're whiskey friends. They have quite a good selection. And it's all on there. So I had some very good whiskeys, had a lot of time, came home with a couple of bottles of Old Forester 1920 Prohibition edition, which is great. And I'll be having some of that on the stream, not tonight, but soon. So that's what we did. That was fun. It's nice to go. It was, honestly, we didn't know that this was going to happen. We didn't know that this event was going to happen because everything's been canceled this year. And we just found out last week that this was going to get to go on. And so it was honestly one of the most relieving things, if I can be honest with you guys. It was such a relief to Lady Rackets and I to have one of these activities that we like to do together actually happen, because so many times this year, those activities have been canceled, be it conventions, charity auctions, stuff like that, that we normally go to, and we didn't get a chance to do it. In fact, Lady Rackets bought a stunning dress up in Kitchener when we were at Kitchener City Comic Con, and we thought it was going to be put away for the entire, the entire year, but she was able to wear it to this event, which made me very, very happy. And it was a fun time. Stop messaging me. Oh my God. Taking this watch off because it keeps buzzing. It made me very, very happy to be able to spend some time with Lady Rackets, doing just an event. So, all right. But we're back now. And where I left you guys last week was I showed you the amicus brief I was drafting for Vic's case. Amicus means friend of the court. It is a non-party to the suit that submits a brief to help the court with a point of law. And so I submitted an amicus brief. Well, I previewed it. It was mostly finished the other night. I added a couple of things to it to finish it up, and it has been filed and served on all parties today. A couple notes about the amicus brief. I said back when I first showed you guys what I was doing, that the likelihood of the court accepting the amicus brief is not guaranteed. And I'm submitting it on the long shot that they may read it. There's technically no rule that says they have to consider this amicus brief. Now, there's a bunch of speculation on Twitter about the propriety and the timing of it, and that's great. I'll wait for a citation from any of them on the timeliness of it. I'm not saying the court will look at it, but the best rule on the issue is Rule 11 of the Texas Rule of Appellate Procedure, which gives the court the ability to basically ignore any amicus for quote-unquote good cause. If the court decides that the time of the filing is good cause to ignore it, they can go ahead and ignore it. That is a very real possibility. Now, there also is not a rule on when amicus briefs can be filed. Again, there is some speculation from various critics of mine who say I'm always wrong, which that's their thing. That's okay. That says that since here's their train. I don't remember the specific rule, but it says that amicus briefs, well, I guess it's Rule 11. Amicus briefs need to conform to the rules of any other brief, right? And then they extrapolate from that the rule for timeliness for the appellant and the appellees. The problem is an amicus brief submitted in support of the appellant isn't an appellant's brief. And an amicus brief submitted in support of the appellees isn't an appellee's brief. They're amicus briefs, and there isn't a specific rule governing what time they need to be submitted. There also isn't case law in Texas, as far as I could find, that has anything to say about the timeliness of amicus briefs being submitted in context of this. I mean, there are some cases that refer to amicus briefs and timeliness, not in a case like this, however. So, and not in a filing situation like this as well. I don't know how to easily explain the differences, but in reviewing those cases, they had nothing to do with this situation. So long story short is, maybe the court will consider it, maybe they don't. I've never represented otherwise. I didn't hype it as otherwise, and no one should take it as otherwise. The amicus brief, again, is submitted as sort of a long shot, Hail Mary, maybe the court will see this and consider it. And if they do, great. If they don't, I'm not Vic's lawyer. So, I can't really do much more than submit that amicus brief. So that's the end of that. It is fully within the court of the court, if that makes sense at this point. I do not want to give anyone the impression that this amicus brief is going to come in and save Vic. It will The odds of that happening, or the amicus brief being the deciding factor in a positive ruling for Vic, are very, very low. Very, very low. The most likely outcome is that the court says, positively or negatively, they ruled on the filings of the parties, because that's whose filings matter by far the most. All right? So, I felt that in the amicus brief, I needed to address a couple issues of the court, and that was that the second amended petition and the attached evidence was improperly excluded, and that attached evidence and the second amended petition being excluded without being stricken was a violation of Vic's rights. Basically, it prejudiced him in his ability to prosecute the case. And since the TCPA has a requirement to get rid of frivolous lawsuits, but also protect meritorious lawsuits, and if we take the idea that the second amended petition and its accompanying evidence was admitted, as in it was not stricken, but not considered by the trial court, then we've got a problem where we have evidence leading to the conclusion of a meritorious case not being considered because reasons. And one of those reasons was an improper reading and application of the Rule 11 agreement by Judge Chupp, who supposedly knows how to read a contract and just decided not to read the Rule 11 agreement the way it was written. He decided to make up extra words, which is a violation of how Rule 11 is supposed to be. Rule 11 agreements are supposed to be applied to the court. Anyway, this is all in the brief. We covered it before. The stuff I added, we're not going to go through it piece by piece. It'll be kind of boring to do, right? But the stuff I added today was just a little, I added a conclusion, right? Which just summarized everything. And the other part I added were some very specific citations to the record showing where in several instances, the information in the second amended petition was already admitted before the court. It's already there. And I pointed to it specifically. I cited to the specific defamatory statements of each of the defendants. I went ahead and pointed out that the places in Vic's deposition where those defendants' allegations came up, where he denied them, where the damage was, it's all there. It was always there. It was already there. And those documents were admitted to the court by Judge Chupp. He actually admitted the depositions as supplements to the response to the TCPA motion to dismiss, which he specifically ruled as timely. Even without the unsworn declarations and even without the affidavits, all of the stuff was already in there in the deposition. It's all there. All of it. Now, I cited to all of it. It was annoying and boring to go through and read through Vic's deposition and pull up all the citations, but it's all there. So it has all been put before the court, and it will be up to them. All right. Oh, and one final thing. Someone has suggested that me filing the amicus brief on behalf of my own business, which I own and am the CEO of, that would be the unauthorized practice of law in Texas. I will wait for first a citation to where that is ever considered the unauthorized practice of law in Texas, and then I will wait for the Texas Ethics Committee to come and slap me down for doing such a naughty thing. Woo! So there you go. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. All right. So that's the we're back part. I wanted to cover that. That's the we're back. I want to get that out of the way. I'm not going to be going through the brief or anything like that tonight, and I think that's about all I'm going to say about it. Other than let the salt flow. Let the salt flow. The next thing. Ron's back. We're going to be talking about Ron I had some interactions with him over the weekend, and they were glorious. This will be like a mini Ronversations thing that we'll do in a little bit. I know many of you are not on Twitter, and Twitter is cancer. So many of you have not seen what's been going on between me and Ron. And many of you may not be aware of Ron being so capable and smart that he decided to dox what appears to be like a 10-year-old child who plays Roblox. Because he thought the 10-year-old child was I Stand With Vic and hacked his direct messages or something. So, put another way, Ron is, I guess, according to his own definition, cyber stalking children now. Gross. Ron, you're a disgusting person. And you're disturbed. Get help. Get help. You know how I know Ron isn't going to his therapist anymore? Because Ron exists in the way that he does. Like, you can tell. But anyway, we'll get to that section in a little bit. I know a lot of people want me to talk about Boogie and Frank Hassell. And we're going to do that as well. I might actually do Boogie and Frank Hassell first in just a little bit. What's up, Camelot? So we might do that first. Not Frank Castle, Frank Hassell. All right. I have not seen the Keemstar video. We're gonna watch it. Some of it. I've been pointed to some timestamps. I've got it pulled up and ready to go. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to take a look at the Arkansas law. My understanding is that Boogie is in Arkansas and that's where this took place. So we're going to take a look at what's going on. We're going to probably have some context of this as well. None of these situations are simple, and no one should expect police to come running and file charges against anybody. That is sometimes how things work, and other times it's not how things work. And there's a lot of back and forth between these two. But we're going to just take a peek at the legality of what happened as best as we can determine it. And then we'll kind of go from there. We'll make our own assessments of what's going on. It's interesting. And more if we get to it. If we don't get to it, let me direct you this way, okay? Many of you are probably aware, many of you have probably already seen this, from me even, but just in case you haven't, Project Veritas had a video out yesterday, I believe it was, showing ballot harvesting going on in Minnesota. Allegedly. We don't know. Guy could be paid by Project Veritas. All sorts of stuff could happen to make this not true. We don't know. But it sure looks like some undercover journalism has uncovered some ballot harvesting. And again, if you think this doesn't happen, it does. It does. It's a real thing that happens, especially in these types of communities. So I did a video about it. I think the story is actually much worse than Project Veritas puts out, because not only is the activity happening, apparently, but the Democrats have been trying to make this activity legal. Now, tacitly admitting, of course, that the activity is illegal. It is unlawful to pay for ballots. It is unlawful to collect ballots and assist more than 3 people in completing them. Those are the laws in Minnesota. They've been that way since 1959 or 1960, allegedly. So 60 years of law. And now we have the Democrats wanting to undo that law. Why? Because it's effective. It's effective. And they're doing it under the guise of helping the elderly. They're doing it under the guise of helping people with English as a second language, despite the fact that all of them can cast their own absentee ballots. And it's not what's going on. They're not helping them cast absentee ballots. They're actually taking ballots and casting them for them, oftentimes buying the ballots outright. All right. So that's one thing. You can check out my video on it to look at the weird legal back and forth that's been going on this year about this subject prior to the video coming out. Something that I think flew under a lot of people's radar because they didn't have this story. But when you look at the video of Project Veritas and think of this, if the activity from the Veritas video bothers you, if it rankles your sensibility, if it seems like electioneering and is unfair, know that that specifically is what the Democrats assert should be legal and are trying to make legal through a lawsuit because their measure failed in Congress. They're trying to overturn the law in the courts after being unable to overturn it in Congress. That's what's going on with it. Now, finally, on the Project Veritas stuff, they have released another video today. I see many of you telling me in chat to make sure and mention it. It was on the menu. I have a plan. But they did release another video today where the guy is caught on camera, I believe, receiving receiving or giving $200 in exchange for a ballot. Anyway, go check it out. There likely will be more to come. Project Veritas has a way of distributing things to keep interest growing in a topic. That's kind of how they do things. So you can expect probably something else. Would love to talk to Mr. O'Keefe at some point. It'd be an interesting conversation. He's a very, very divisive figure. So go check those things out. You can check out my video if you want. I would always appreciate, a view on those things. Share it if you like it. If you don't, tell me you hate it in the comments, and that's great. That's perfect. That's how the world works. Definitely go check out the Veritas videos as well. All right. More stuff. They released the video of that autistic kid getting blasted by the cops out in Utah. It doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for the police on that one. I don't know. And again, I don't know how you get around the headline of police shoot 13-year-old autism. I don't know how you make that look good, but I watched the video. It was not good as far as I can tell. The video is short. There may be additional context, but man, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. The kid lived. He's still alive. He's not, he's going to have some serious injury, possible permanent injury, but yeah. Now the story does have some weird sort of artifacts to it that we didn't know about at first. So I may just do a short video on it. I don't know. I can't show. Here's the thing. If I put a video of a kid getting shot by police in a short video, it won't get monetized and the algorithm will refuse to send it out. It's like, nope, no search and discovery on it. So like nobody will see it. So we might do that later in the show. Watch that shooting. I don't know. We might do it a different show, but doing it on the live streams is a way that a lot more people will end up getting to see it. Gelf, you're back. You can have your wrench back, buddy. Welcome. Glad to hear from you, man. So, that's that. All right. Let's delve into this Frank Hassell thing, shall we? All right. Whoa, my camera. Let me fix my autofocus. I've gone into some weird places. Woo! There we go. Sorry about that. Is that feminist water you're drinking? Pretty much. It's these, I have like no drinks in my house other than liquor and water right now, and these things. Kiwi strawberry sparkling ice. Oh no, it's even got the Susan G. Komen thing on it. Susan G. Komen, who spends more money on lawsuits than actual research. Ah. Didn't I give you your wrench back, Gelf? There. It said I did. Okay. I might have to add you manually. Okay, anyway. So that's what I got, but we're gonna sub in some whiskey for this show. We've got the Amroot. The Amroot single malt peated cask strength Indian whiskey from India. Stuff is top quality. Oh, I had a great bourbon, and it was the George Stagg bourbon cask strength. It was brutal. Okay. Let me do some super chats, and then we'll jump into this Frank thing. I've just got a couple that have built up from the beginning of the show. Anonymous, that's me donating to myself, says China number 4, Japan number 2, Taiwan number 1. Screw HoloLive. Rekieta's my favorite e-girl again. Get Grums back on the show to chew out the CCP enabling cowards. Hashtag Coco did nothing wrong. Hashtag Hachama. I don't know how to say that. Did nothing wrong. I'd love to have Grums back on the show. Always a good and enlightening discussion with him. I'll reach out. Yeah, Gelf, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to add you as a mod after the show. For some reason, it's not re-adding you. Dragon's Treasure says, got more sales thanks to you this month. So sharing the spoils like I said I would. Hey, thank you. I'm this close to doing away with all non-T, non-anime related work to pay the bills. As an extra reward, I'm sending you my nudes. Oh, thank you. Guys, check out the dragonstreasure.com. It is phenomenal loose leaf tea and tea related accessories that are anime themed. It's the most important part is that the product is very, very high quality and the tea is delicious. Skaki Onsai says, good evening, Grift Father, on this week that will start Grifttober. Some people tonight need enlightening. By filing your Amicus brief, are you running afoul of Texas Amicus Curiae laws like a J Buttboy woman thinks you are? I don't think so. I would find it very surprising if the Texas Ethics Committee came after me on it. But we'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell. I like the Spike Man says, my liver hurts. Cartoon porn isn't real life and Boogie is a psycho. I miss Walleye so much. God bless. Okay. Come to Minnesota. Get yourself some walleye. They sell it everywhere here. Midnight Jazz says, Nick Rekieta from Minnesota Attorney General. Go after Ilhan and crew, please. You can't right now. The Secretary of State is enjoined by the court from enforcing the law that you could go after them under. Well, hopefully the feds will take a look at it. Michael Wheeler says, just to let you know, part 2 is out and actually has people who received money for their ballots. Yes, that's a Project Veritas thing. Thank you for sharing that. Romeo Garbo says, here's a little something I heard. I dig, you dig, we dig, she dig, he dig. It's not a very complex or beautiful poem, but it's certainly deep. Deep. It is. It is. Lots of digging. All right. All right. Let's do this stuff. Let me pull up my resources here. Got a couple things. Hold on, I gotta find. Oh my goodness. We're gonna pull up a couple laws and we're gonna look at this very as even as possible. Okay? If you're wanting me to come in and say that someone is the worst and is going to prison, and both these guys, one guy was in the right and one guy was completely in the wrong, that's not going to happen here. I mean, it may turn out that way. I'm saying I don't have that preconceived outcome. From what I've seen, there's some wrong actions going on both sides. Let's see. Here we go. Where is it? Oh my gosh. If I remembered that Arkansas was AR instead of AK, we would have been doing better. Crimes against the person. Assault. 204. Okay. So this is going to take a little bit of finagling as we go through these, individual sort of claims, but we'll pull them up and look them over. Look over the relevant law, and then we'll watch Keemstar's video, and we should see some interaction. Importantly, I am not actually positive that a shot was fired. Has anybody seen a video where Boogie actually fires a shot? I know Keemstar said he did, but I don't know that it occurred for sure. So there's audio of it. Okay. Boogie said he fired as well. Okay, well, if I were Boogie, I would shut my mouth immediately. Of course, both Boogie and Frank have been invited on the show to watch. As expected, neither of them have accepted that invitation, but I did want to point out that they were both tagged in my post and offered, they're welcome to come on. And if they wanted to come on now, they can. They can as well. Brody S says, get Robert Barnes on to talk about Rittenhouse, please. I can try. Decker Ramirez says, a salt mine that ends all sodium deficiency. Did you find a long lost piece of the Sampo of Finnish myth? Note just in case, the Sampo is an artifact that creates endless gold, flour, and of course, salt. I am the Sampo, I think. Because I can piss off a bunch of nobodies really quickly. So here we go. This is the first Arkansas law we're going to look at. And this is aggravated assault. And this is something Boogie needs to be thinking about quite a bit. All right? Here's why. Person commits aggravated assault if, under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life, he or she purposefully engages in conduct that creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to another person. Discharging a firearm in city limits as a warning shot may fall under this one. It may. It may not. It would kind of depend on some factors. Which kind of direction he fired. If he fired straight up, probably less likely. However, I want to point your attention to number 2. Andrew Collins wants to know if Dragon's Treasure Tea ships to Taiwan. I don't know. Number 2, displays a firearm in such a manner that creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to another person. The picture I've seen, I believe, is from Frank's point of view, right? Like a camera Frank is holding or wearing or whatever. And Boogie comes out with that gun pointed right at him. That is probably aggravated assault. Now, before we jump to any conclusions, okay? Before we jump to any conclusions, in a vacuum, that's aggravated assault. We've got complicating factors. Boogie's at his house. Frank is showing up to his residence. There is a back and forth between them. There could be, there's stuff that's going on around this. But in a vacuum, pointing a firearm at someone, aggravated assault under the law. Okay? So, be cautious. This does not mean Boogie is definitely going to jail or even anything will happen from this, although it could. And if there's a charge, this is potentially one of them. Okay? Impedes or prevents the respiration. Okay, so that's choking. Doesn't matter. That's a Class D felony. Now, provisions of this section do not apply to a person acting in self-defense or the defense of a third party. We're going to look at Boogie's interview with Frank, and we'll talk about that self-defense aspect. It's a lot more complicated. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that Frank was also trespassing on Boogie's property, which may or may not be true. That's a legal determination that is also not very simple. Hopefully, we'll get some more info from the from Storyfire. But let me say one final thing about the acting in self-defense of yourself or a third party. To act in self-defense, a person must have both a subjective and an objective reasonable, subjective and objective fear, imminent, typically great bodily harm or death. Okay? So, that means that your fear must be reasonable to a normal person. That's the objective part. The subjective part is that you must also feel that fear. You have to fear imminent death or bodily harm. We're going to watch the interview. And again, I haven't watched it, but I've seen some of the quotes from it. And they cast a lot of doubt on that fear of death thing. So, we'll see, though. We'll see, right? Again, not jumping to conclusions. I'm going ahead and flushing out what we're going to be using as we analyze the video. All right. So here we have maybe where Frank is going to get into trouble. We have harassment. A person commits the offense of harassment if, with it purpose to harass, annoy, or alarm another person without good cause, he or she, 1, strikes, shove, kicks, or otherwise touches a person, subjects that person to offensive physical contact, or attempts or threatens to do so. Now, I'm not aware of Frank getting close enough to touch Boogie, so that may not matter. I don't know if he tried to or threatened to do so, but those could be potential issues. In a public place, directs obscene language. This is less likely. This is not in a public place, I think, as would normally be determined by the statutes. We're on Boogie's property. Okay? Follows a person in or about a public place. So again, going to Boogie's home is probably not going to fall under that one. In a public place, again, let's get down to 5. Engages in conduct or repeatedly commits an act that alarms or seriously annoys another person and that serves no legitimate purpose. This is one place I think that Frank may have crossed the line into harassment. Now, Frank is a prankster, He does prank videos, prank phone calls. The question of, is there a legitimate purpose? Maybe. Maybe that's his performance art. Maybe not. But I think that this is a potential rocky spot for Frank. Harassment doesn't apply if it's a cop, so we can basically skip that. So we won't get into that. That's a Class A misdemeanor. So Frank, in theory, again, could be doing a Class A misdemeanor with the harassment. Now we have harassing communications, which are going to be a little bit similar. So electronic device includes a computer, cell phone, tablet, smartphone, or any other device that connects to the internet, blah, blah, blah. Person commits offense of harassing communications if, with the purpose to harass, annoy, or alarm another person, the person communicates with a person anonymously or otherwise by telephone, telegraph, mail, email, message delivered, blah, 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 in a manner likely to harass, annoy, or cause alarm. Or they make telephone calls with no purpose of legitimate communication. Knowingly permit any telephone or electronic device to be used for purposes prohibited by the section. Threatens by telephone in writing or by electronic communication to take action against another person that is known by the person to be unlawful. So that's an interesting caveat here. Knowing that the action is unlawful is part of the harassing communication statute. Places 2 or more telephone calls anonymously at an hour or hours known by the person to be inconvenient to another person in an offensively repetitious manner or without a legitimate purpose of communication. I'm filing harassment charges against the GOP because I'm getting 2 text messages a minute from them trying to get money out of me right now. And I'm like, piss off. Stop texting me. All right. With the purpose to frighten. Okay, so this is a purpose to harass, annoy, or alarm. Or with the purpose to frighten, intimidate, or distress emotionally another person. They communicate by telephone that a person has been injured, killed, or is ill when that's known to be false. So falsely stating someone has died, like someone they love, for example. Or communicates to another person in any way that they know reasonably would frighten, intimidate, or cause emotional distress. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Based on my preliminary thoughts, the main things we're looking at are harassing Boogie with committing an act that alarms or seriously annoys another person that serves no legitimate purpose, and then potentially something in here with the communications. Although, again, from the limited information I have at this point, we're going to watch the video together and noodle through this. Boogie's communicating back. And his communications are inflammatory as well. So it might not qualify as harassment, because if Boogie's participating in it, and this gets really, really murky, okay? That's the hard part about enforcing laws that involve speech, is that, again, Frank Hassell is, whether you like him or not, some level of performance artist. Now, performance art doesn't shield you from everything, but he is doing a thing. It's a bit. It's a gag, so to speak. And it's part of a thing. And where that crosses the line from being a gag into reality is not clear cut. And it's not easy to just go up and say, well, this is definitely this. They have to prove intent. They have to do all sorts of things. And sometimes reasonable people can infer these things, but not always. All right, so, but I do think that there's a potential Frank's involved in some harassing behavior, and I think there's a potential aggravated assault for Boogie based on how he is brandishing the gun, and especially given the fact that I haven't seen him say he was afraid. Okay. So we are going to drop this bad boy. And look at that face by Keemstar. Oh my goodness. Keemstar. I am so sorry for that unkind pause that we have going here. It is not great. Not a great pause. Goodness gracious. Was he lending chromosomes to someone else? I don't know. Okay, let's do this. All right. I've got a couple timestamps, but I think we should just kind of watch through. Here we go. What? You're muted. Here we go. I'm going to crank up my own volume a bit. And
Nation, I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news. The YouTuber Boogie2988 shot a gun today at another YouTuber. Now, I want to explain how...
look at Boogie. That is probably the most serious Boogie has looked in his entire life. He is... I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You've got to give some credit. You've got to give some credit to Boogie. A little bit of credit, I guess, to Keemstar's morning radio voice. We're going to get right into the news. Drama alert. Boogie has fired a shot at another YouTuber. Just kidding. Just kidding. All the love. Bad Vibes says, how does provocation apply here? Frank knowingly went to Boogie's with the understanding that there is hostilities exist. Boogie said, come to my house, Vagine. We're going to look at it. We'll look at it here. So here we go. Boogie is looking serious.
How we got there, right? There is this YouTuber called Frank Hassell. Frank Hassell makes the type of content where he just goes up to random people on the street with a GoPro on his head and he starts harassing them. Recently,
this is a colloquial harassment, not a legal harassment. Legal harassment is, again, it's much, much harder, especially when you're doing it in the context of performative art. So I just want to clarify that's the case. Perception check. Is anyone triggered by the poor trigger discipline? You mean where his finger's on it? That might not be poor. He might be ready to fire. Not recommended. Not recommended.
Frank's channel has been banned off of YouTube, and he is blaming Boogie298 for it. He's been saying for months that he is going to catch Boogie in public and harass him in public. Now, a couple days ago, Frank...
What is this music, Keem?
Posted this on Twitter saying that he was in Boogie's town. Somebody showed up to Boogie's address, but it wasn't Frank. Someone rung Boogie's doorbell, but it wasn't Frank. I had both of them on for an interview. Quite frankly, Boogie looks bad. He's threatening Frank's life if he shows up, and I didn't want to put that interview out.
Wait a minute. Of course you want to put that interview out. Of course we want the interview. What kind of drama alert is this? Give us a drama. God damn it, Keem.
Because, you know, I was afraid that people would cause, this interview would cause people to harass and bully Boogie more, and he's obviously having some mental issues with all the harassment that is going on. However, things have changed, because today, Frank actually showed up to Boogie's house, and Boogie fired a weapon at him. So, first...
Is this why Keemstar's so popular? He is building the drama. I can feel it tingling.
We're going to show you the footage of what happened when Frank showed up to Boogie's house and he fired that weapon. Here's a little bit of it. Roll it.
Roll it.
Come on, you fucking pussy. What's the deal? Where's the gun at, you fat shit?
Oh, no. Not an F-slur.
Open fire. Open fire!
Shocking, shocking stuff. Now, the police have been called, but look, I'm going to show you the rest of this footage of what happened today with Boogie shooting the gun at Frank. But first, we're going to get into the interview that happened last night, because I think, you know, there's important context here that people need to understand about this story, and I've got express permission from Boogie and Frank to get the interview out. So we'll show the interview, and then we'll show you what happened today. Here's that interview. Well, ladies and
okay, I want to pause and talk about something here. while Frank showing up and knocking on the door and saying, you know, what's up, pussy, or whatever. Like, that's him being an asshole. That is asshole behavior 100%. If you show up to my door and start screaming like obscenities and insults, you know, we're probably not going to have a friendly confrontation. That is an asshole move by Frank Hassell. Again, though, that's kind of his bit. Oh, goodness. And yes, I see the invitation stuff. I know we're going to get to that in the interview. I know it's in the interview. We're going to get there. I'm going to get there with you, girl. We're going to get... Don't worry, girl. We'll get there. I promise. Just give me time. Give me 10 minutes. Puggernaut says, Warski Rasp, stay back. Stay the fuck back. We will defend ourselves. We will defend ourselves. Aim. 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 Okay, here we go. Here we go. Being an asshole, though, is not legal or illegal specifically. There is no, like, assholery isn't the legal test, okay?
Gentlemen, we have Boogie 2988 and Frank Hassell on the line. Hassell, did you go to his house? Did you go to Boogie's house?
I'm starting to wish that I had at this point, given the little panic attack he appears to be having on Twitter. But unfortunately, no, it was not me.
But Frank, you did go down to Dixon Street last night, take a photo, tag me in that photo, and then say, I'm in your town, pussy, right?
You are allowed to do that. Like, this is, and again, this is where, and this is hard for a lot of non-Americans, especially Canadians or Brits. Our laws about threats. Frank Hassell tweets out, it's right here, it's on the frame, it says, I'm in Fayetteville, pussy. Okay. Is that a threat? Now, a lot of people can infer a threat from that communication. And you can infer threatening behavior, you can infer all sorts of things, but in the States, specifically, the First Amendment protections on speech are so high that an actual threat has to be a threat, not an inferable threat, right? It has to be something like, I'm in Fayetteville, pussy, I'm coming to batter that face harder than a Sylvia St. Bukaki, or something like that. That's what you got to do. Actually, batter is probably not the right word, but I wanted to make a Bukaki joke, so you're stuck with it. Anyway, you have to be more explicit in the threat. You have to threaten typically an unlawful act.
That was you? Oh, that's on your Twitter feed right now?
Yes, that was me. I am in Dixonville right now, and I am in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
All right, well, cool, man. Let me make it very clear. You should be very glad you didn't step on my property, okay? And I highly recommend you don't. It'll be the last decision you fucking make.
Not a good look for Boogie. Although, not a threat. Not a threat. It's an inferred threat, but it doesn't look good. Again, in the context of what we're talking about the aggravated assault, this is going to not look great. But this isn't definitive about what's happened. But the last decision you'll ever make is not actually a threat to kill someone. I need to be clear on that, because people, again, it's such a weird law in the U.S., the weird application of law in the U.S. Last decision you'll ever make is not an actual threat of violence. Okay, so we're going through it, though.
Okay, I've played around with you. I don't know what your obsession is with me. I don't know why you think I got your YouTube channel deleted. I don't know if it's because you're mad I got your subreddit deleted. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your fucking problem is.
Boogie admitted, I think, there to getting his subreddit deleted. Said, you think I got your YouTube channel deleted, but he did say I got your subreddit deleted. So that's interesting.
But I have no problem fucking ending you if you fucking come here. Okay? I told you very clearly, I don't give a shit what happens to me, and that's fine. But if there's a risk for me, my dog, or my roommate, I'm gonna take self-defense caution. I'm not.
Okay. Again, if I were Boogie's lawyer, I would say, why the fuck are you saying any of this? Threatening to exercise a legal right is not a threat, and it is not problematic. However, there's a caveat to that. There's a caveat to that. The caveat is inducing behavior for the purposes of exercising self-defense with the intent of causing harm to someone negates self-defense. Does that make sense? So if I do something, if I'm like, punch me, you F-slur, so I can shoot you in the mouth, like the cockhole you are, and then you punch me, and then I pull out my gun and I shoot you in the mouth, I mean, I induced you to attack me for the purposes of me justifying killing you. That negates self-defense. Okay, so Boogie is towing the line here. He's towing the line here on where, if you say, come here so I can kill you, is not good. I don't think he's quite there yet. I don't think he's quite there, but that quote doesn't help him. The quote doesn't help him. Phoenix Aurum says in Lemon voice. Oh my God. I'm going to do this one a little bit later while we're not doing the Boogie stuff. Remind me to go back to it. Just tag me a whole lot later when we're done with this.
I'm going to do what needs to be fucking
very
done.
over dramatic and should consider taking your anxiety medication or something.
Well, I did take my anxiety medication tonight, man. And this is, do you understand that this is
actually, that's a funny line from Frank, but it's also a point against Frank on the harassment stuff. He knows Boogie's on anxiety medication. He knows his actions are causing anxiety. That kind of looks like he has an intent to harass or annoy. Now, harassment is a Class A misdemeanor. It is also not justification for an assault, typically, or a killing. Like, annoying someone is not a self-defense situation. All right, so that's... But this does kind of lean towards the harassment of Frank Hassell. If he knows Boogie is on anxiety medication, that this is causing him anxiety, that pushes towards the annoying communications. All right. Again, this is all very muddy and we're going through this on the fly. So none of these answers are definitive. They're all things you guys should keep in mind. Because if you're a juror in Arkansas and you have no teeth or whatever, you're going, I'm joking. Poor Arkansas. That was rude. If you are a juror in Arkansas and you're sitting hearing this case, these are all things you're going to have to consider for either one of these guys.
what you do to people? Do you understand that this is what you're doing to me? You've picked somebody with post-traumatic stress disorder to target with this type of harassment. What the fuck are you doing in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Why did you travel several states to pull this shit? What the
Frank doesn't have to have a reason to be in Fayetteville, Arkansas. He has no need. There is no reason to justify your location in the United States. Papers, please. You're not the Stasi, Boogie. You don't get to do that. But you know, the cringe splaining of the PTSD is a little bit much. Phoenix, Bad Vibe says, I would say that might apply in the heat of the moment. However, Frank had opportunity not to act and have a clear head. No, I don't think anything I've said so far is heat of the moment stuff, but you can have that opinion. That's okay. Phoenix, I'll do the lemon stuff after this.
Okay, let's try to dissect this a little bit.
It's not fucking funny to me. I'm not participating willingly in this. I've told you to fucking leave me alone, and I will fucking end you if you step foot on my fucking property, Frank.
Again, that informing Frank clearly with definitive language that he has been told to leave him alone, that pushes towards the harassment action. It really does. So bear that in mind. Redrick Lasser says, "Hail Nick, tonight I got a shouting match with my mom because I finally told her to shut up about everything. It ended up with her yelling, 'Fuck you' to my sister. So it's nice to have your show to listen to after that." Damn. She was so pissed at you, she yelled at your sister? As a parent, I can identify. Puggernaut says, "They forgot my fries, so I took their lives. I said extra cheese, now down on your knees." Boogie 1488. No, Boogie, no. Oh my gosh. But anyway, Redrick, I'm sorry you got in a fight, man. Hang out, have some laughs, have some thought, and you know, that's part of it. Fighting with parents is why they exist.
This is not funny to me.
Let's find out if
I
Frank
get that
has
you're a
it.
fucking sociopath. I get that you're a fucking psychopath. I get that this is funny to you. It is not funny to me, Frank. I am mentally fucking ill. I am fucking...
Bad admission by Boogie. Bad Boogie. No. Bad Boogie. Mentally ill is one of the reasons we take guns away from people in this country. And that would include them being in your house even if it's not your gun. If you are mentally ill, your roommate is typically not allowed to have a gun because that is considered in your possession or under your control. No, Boogie, stop. This is a bad thing for you to say. Sinak 8 says, "What's the difference between this situation, that lawyer couple that pulled their guns on the protesters? The one where the man had the AR-15 that went viral. The McCloskeys, the situation, I don't know if it's that much different. One is there's a mob of people versus one person. The other thing about this conversation is Boogie does seem to be indicating that he knows that Frank thinks this is funny. What Boogie is not doing here, and this is really important to that whole self-defense thing, Boogie hasn't expressed fear of Frank. He's expressed irritation at Frank. Those are vastly different things. Vastly different things. It also, when we get to the video of Frank showing up, we're going to talk about where he is in relation to this. Well, we already saw, right? He walks up to the door. I know a lot of people have said trespass, blah, 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 blah. The door and the walkway to the door are different than the rest of your property. And trespass is not necessarily the clearest thing. Now, Boogie has expressed that Frank should not show up on his property. Okay? Which, the advice I would give Frank in that moment is don't show up on his property. However, he did that before Frank was there. Answering a door with a gun pointed at someone is not advisable, even if you've previously said don't show up. I'm not saying that Frank didn't trespass. I'm saying that trespass gets really murky when we're talking about the walkway to the door and the door to the house. If you're talking about a back door, a window from the sides, those types of things, pushes much more towards protest. A backyard, a fenced-in area especially. But trespass isn't as cut and dry as people make it out to be. Frank likely engaged in trespass here. All right? I want to be very clear. It's not a foregone conclusion that he did. He likely engaged in trespass because if he was previously informed to stay off the property, he should stay off the property, and he willfully and intentionally entered onto it physically. And that tends to be the legal definition of a trespass. Was it a criminal trespass? I don't know. That's a different question. Civil trespass, probably. Is a trespass sufficient to point a gun at someone? In the South, it may be common behavior, but it may not be legally sustainable. But this is, again, where we're at here. We're going to get towards, I know there's more context to this, and we're going to get to that, all right? Squally says, I take one weekend off and come back to you doing crazy accents. Usually. Here we go.
Out of my mind with anxiety. You fucking know that.
Boogie, let's find out if Frank even has intentions of going to your house. I know he went to your city, and he's in your city now. But
why are you in my city, Frank? Let me ask you that.
I could be doing this interview from outside your house right now.
You might be. Why, Frank? Why?
Because
that's not a statement that he is, and that is completely irrelevant.
What the fuck?
And the idea
it's not fucking funny, Frank. It's not fucking funny. When you're laying dead on my fucking front lawn, that won't be fucking funny.
Okay, but Boogie.
Apparently Frank thinks it's funny that he might be laying dead on the front. Frank is lucky he didn't die, right? Like, to be honest, Boogie sounds serious as shit. And again, I would not advise this type of behavior because Frank could have very easily been in a body bag. He could have been a statistic. Whoite on whoite crime right there.
Let Frank talk a little bit, all right? Let him get his say.
Dude, I'm just in Fayetteville to visit some friends, and you are really freaking out for no reason, man. It's crazy.
You tagged me on Twitter with a photo calling me a pussy that you were
are
in my
a pussy.
fucking town.
Sorry. I had to pause. I had to laugh. You are a pussy. I mean, the evidence presents itself. The evidence presents itself. But again, Frank didn't need to provide a reason to be in Fayetteville, but he did give a reason. I'm just in Fayetteville visiting some friends. He's making some jokes on Twitter. Boogie is taking those jokes a little bit far. And again, I'm in Fayetteville, pussy, doesn't mean I'm going to come to your house and do something to you. He may say that in a little bit. I don't know. We're getting there. All right. So, we're getting through all this.
Go fuck yourself, Frank.
Frank, where did you get the snake from? Where did you get the snake from?
There was a tweaker letting people take photos with the snake for $5. So
yeah, he's a local. He's a local celebrity, man. Everybody knows that.
But
guy.
Frank, let's be honest. All right, you were. I saw you on another podcast. You were telling Boogie. Both of you were on there, the kill stream, and you were telling Boogie, "I'm coming to your town. I'm gonna harass you in public." And then you're posting on Twitter that you're in his town. Did Boogie has a right to freak out if some random person comes up to his door and hits the bell? Like,
no, he doesn't. I disagree with Keemstar. Someone running up and hitting your doorbell is not a right to freak out. To put it in colloquial terms, that's ridiculous. Like, that's just ridiculous to think that you should freak out over someone hitting your doorbell, especially one time. I mean, that is just, I can't get behind that notion. Should someone bother Boogie at his home? No, of course not. Leave the man alone. But at the same time, like, people ring doorbells and do stuff. It is not a reason to freak out on someone. That's a bit much. Take off your doorbell, bro. Only answer. Like, in all honesty, take off. You've got a ring doorbell. Can you disable the bing sound on a ring doorbell and have people just text you when they show up? You could check your thing. Like, there's a lot of ways for people with anxiety to deal with doorbells, especially now. It's 2020, bruh. Like, just utilize the function that you have. All right, we'll keep moving here.
Like, you know, you could see
Of
how he would have
course.
thought that would have been you, right?
Of course.
But throw that shit, Frank, throw that shit aside. Do you understand? Tagging me on Twitter, telling me that you're coming to my fucking town, telling me you're in my town, calling me a pussy, saying every couple of days, there's a reckoning coming, action will be taken. Do you fucking
Right.
understand that's harassment?
It's
What is
not.
the fucking
Funny,
action you're
dude.
planning? What's
It's none of those things seem like harassment to me. Now, maybe I'm old-fashioned or too free speech or whatever. Those don't sound like harassment. I mean, I guess it could get there. But especially when you've got, these guys just had a heated exchange on the kill stream, which is not included here. But, I mean, you got some back and forth going, but there's a reckoning coming. Action will be taken. What action? I mean, is he going to drink a glass of milk? What's the reckoning? You know, is he going to resolve a dispute between two friends? God, I don't know, man. I don't know.
What's the action you're planning, Frank? Because I know the action I'm planning. I'm sending you home in a fucking body bag. That's the action I'm planning.
Oh my fucking God. Okay. That statement alone may be actually enough to overcome any self-defense. That was out of the context. That was out of the context of self-defense. He just said, I know the action I'm planning to take, and that is to send you home in a fucking body bag. That is not... No. No. Not advisable. Not advisable at all. Very bad for any self-defense claim that Boogie might raise. Whew. And one of the big questions in all this is, why haven't you... Has Boogie contacted the police prior to this? Like, Boogie is telling a man, I'm going to kill you. That is the action I'm going to take. I'm going to put you in... Well, wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to put you in a body bag is technically not a threat of violence. Because it is an idiom. It is an idiomatic way to say, I'm going to kill you. Now, in isolation, I have to be fair. In isolation, that alone would not be a threat of violence. Not advisable to say. It's not advisable to say. But I have to be fair to Boogie here. He did not say, I'm going to shoot you or I'm going to murder you or something, chop off your penis and your legs or whatever. He said, I'm going to put you in a body bag. And a live person can go in a body bag. We're starting to get there, though, I think. But very inadvisable because he has expressed an intent that could easily... Now, these are different things, okay? I want to be very clear on something. What I'm talking about with Boogie right now is conveying a threat of violence. That is completely different than establishing motive for a murder, for example, or to overcome self-defense, to establish the premeditation aspect of an action, or to, for example, provide evidence that someone was planning to use someone else's action to justify violence in return. Okay? Those are two different things. One of them, terroristic threats, is a specific prohibition on violent language, threats of violence against someone. That is the standard by which put him in a body bag is not a threat. However, can that be used as evidence to suggest that someone is predetermining violence against someone in, say, a murder case or in, say, overcoming the self-defense aspects of an aggravated assault case? Yes. All right. So, again, working through the ongoing legal analysis, remembering what we're talking about. Here we go.
So what's your
Just
fucking plan?
imagining you.
What's your
rolling out in
fucking
your
plan?
scooter with an AK trying to air me out. It's
Okay,
probably
number
the
one, we don't
funniest
own an
thing I could
AK.
think
We have
about.
an AR. Number two, I don't need a fucking scooter.
They have an AR. Again, he just admitted to being mentally ill. In many instances, mental illness should not be around guns, according to state laws. Whether or not you agree with those state laws, I don't know Arkansas's laws on mental illness and guns. Maybe it's fine there. S. Cybertaz says, if Boogie really wanted to scare Frank, just open the door naked. Nothing puts the fear of Allah more than looking at a human Sharipe rug, or use his own skin flaps as a parachute like Rocky the Squirrel Pick in NSF People. Didn't Boogie post a nude photo the other day? Wasn't that awful? Wasn't that him? I think I saw it and I was like, oh God. Okay, here we go.
Number three, you know where I live. Knock, motherfucker.
Okay, see, Boogie just told him to come. Boogie just told him, knock. Come knock. He invited Frank to knock on the door.
Knock, motherfucker.
I will.
You want to see it? You'll see it tonight. Come on by. Come on by.
Well,
and I'll
You
bury
sound
you.
like you
Come
are
on
more
by
of a
and I'll
danger
bury
to
you. I'm
people than
sick
I
of
am.
this shit, Frank. I've spent the last 24 hours awake. I spent the last 24 hours in fucking turmoil. I've spent the last 24 hours because of you, and I'm going to fucking end this one way or the other. I suggest you leave town. That's what I fucking...
Frank,
You
Frank,
sound
That is, again, this doesn't look good for Boogie here at all. This doesn't look good for Boogie. I mean, ooh, not good.
like you are a danger to yourself more than I am.
No, I'm a fucking danger to you right now. That's what I'm a fucking
okay,
danger to.
okay,
son.
let's
I won't touch
Boogie,
myself.
no!
I won't touch
You just
myself.
calm down.
You won't touch yourself? Are you that self-hating? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's just kind of a funny thing. No, that's not, I'm a danger to you. These are not good lines.
Fucking touch you, though.
all right, Boogie, let Frank talk for a minute. Frank, I got to ask you a question. What is this all about? What is your beef with Boogie, and why have you been pestering him over the last couple months?
Well,
Pestering's a good word.
I had a fan who went into Boogie's stream and they made an offhand comment about me and he started going crazy. He was losing. He was spamming me in my Twitter DMs, spamming my Twitter mentions and my notifications. You know, I barely knew who this guy was, and he was like messaging
You're
me, telling
fucking
me,
lying right now because you posted on Reddit that you were going to come to my house before any of this started.
"I've never posted about you on Reddit." And if
Well,
you
that
can
was
find
what
any
that's what your
proof of
fans were
that-
telling me. That
Uh-oh. Did Boogie fall for the it was posted on Reddit trap? Boogie, no.
that's what your fans were telling me.
Okay, well, my fans are liars, just like you're a liar. Just like you
What
said
the
I came
fuck
to your
have I lied
doorbell.
about, Frank? Name of one goddamn thing I lied about. Nobody rang my doorbell. I have fucking footage,
You
Frank.
said a guy.
Nobody
you said, like,
rang my
a thin guy with a
nobody rang my
ponytail
doorbell. I have
rang your
fucking
doorbell.
footage, Frank. Nobody rang my doorbell. I have fucking footage, Frank.
You're seeing Boogeyman in every.
Someone
corner of
rang
the
my
world, and you
doorbell.
think
I
they're
have
all me.
fucking footage, Frank.
I rule your mind.
That okay. Someone ringing the doorbell, if Frank didn't do it, isn't Frank's fault unless he induced them to do it. I haven't seen that allegation. It may be true. I don't know. Right? But I haven't even seen Boogie allege that you put them up to that or something like that.
Mind right now. I live in your head rent free.
Yes, it's called fucking harassment. I have a fucking anxiety disorder. You're harassing someone who's mentally ill, you sick, disgusting, depraved piece of shit. And I'm going to fucking end you if you fucking keep doing it.
Are
Interestingly, this may be the basis. I don't know if Arkansas has a red flag law, but if it did, like this conversation would be basis to get to get a red flag protective order against Boogie, which is again why I don't like red flag laws, by the way. I think they're terrible, but it's why you don't advise this sort of behavior. But this conversation alone would be sufficient.
Are you going to cry? Yes or
No, I will never cry. Not when I fucking bury you, I won't cry. There's no reason to fucking cry over shit garbage like
So,
you, buddy.
Just
I
to be
will
clear,
never shed a fucking tear over anything I do to you, buddy. I promise you.
Hey, buddy.
I fucking
just to
promise
be clear, Boogie, all of this was triggered by a Twitter post.
Of you threatening me, yes. All of this was triggered by a Twitter post of you traveling to my hometown.
That's not a threat, though, Boogie. Not even close. That is not even close to a threat. Like, again, Frank may be an asshole. He's calling you a pussy, he's being a dick, but that is not a threat. And threatening to harass you in public isn't a threat, like an actionable criminal threat either. He didn't actually threaten to come to your house until later.
To fucking post 3 miles from my house that you were coming to get me. Yeah, Frank.
I am
Yeah,
living close to
surprise,
your house
surprise.
right now.
That's fucking triggering. What?
You know your address is public information.
I
Anybody can
understand.
come
That's
to
why
your
you're
house.
in this fucking town. I dare you to fucking come here. I
I'm
dare
visiting
you.
a friend, Boogie. What's wrong with visiting friends?
Visit me, friend. Visit me.
Well,
You sound like
Boogie,
you're
if
asking
you
me to
Boogie,
come
if
to
you
your house
invite
now.
him
You
over to
sound
your
like-
house,
I mean, visit me, friend. Now, again, the inferred context is visit me and I'll harm you or whatever, but
Hinge.
if
Being sarcastic, if you come here, I'll end you.
well,
I will use castle doctrine to fucking end you. Do you understand that?
I don't know. Does Arkansas have a castle doctrine? I assume they do. Let me check real quick. So let's see if we can get to the actual Arkansas code for castle doctrine. It says they have one. 526066766. Yeah. Castle doctrine. Let me see if I can get the actual statute pulled up. Maybe we can just do it on here. So it's 52606. So let me pull this up real quick. Got 5213204. That's not what we want. 513. We want 52. 606. Homicide, I suppose. Nope. I don't like how they're... Whoops. Wait. 52606. That's 510. General provisions. Oh, chapter 2. Here we go. 6. Here we go. Here's defense of property or premises. Let's take a quick look through these real quick. All right. Mars Ultor says, Nick, what are the legal implications of this being a pro wrestling style work? Even if Boogie fired a blank shot, isn't that a pretty major legal issue? Only if, if Frank reported the crime and it was a crime. If it was staged between them and they reported a crime, that would be, false reporting. But if Boogie pointing the gun at Frank is an issue. Boogie pointing the gun at Frank is an issue unless he's justified in doing it. So here we have defensive person. Here are the self-defense laws. We're going to go through. There's 4 sections here in Arkansas. Person is justified in using physical force upon another to defend himself or herself or a third person from what the person reasonably believes to be the use or imminent use of unlawful physical force by that other person, and the person may use a degree of force that he or she believes to be reasonably necessary. May not use deadly force except provided in 607, which is here. Deadly force in defense of a person. Justified in using deadly force on another person if the person reasonably believes that the other person is committing or about to commit a felony involving force or violence. Trespassing is likely a misdemeanor. Harassment is a misdemeanor, okay? Those are not felonies, and neither of them involve force or violence. Using or about to use unlawful deadly physical force, or imminently endangering the person's life, or imminently about to victimize the person as described in 915-103 from the continuation of a pattern of domestic abuse. I don't think Frank Hassell is domestically abusing Boogie. So here we go. A person may not use deadly force in self-defense if the person knows that he or she can avoid the necessity of using deadly force by retreating. So this is where Castle Doctrine comes in. However, a person is not required to retreat if the person is unable to retreat with complete safety in the person's dwelling or on the curtilage surrounding the person's dwelling and was not the original aggressor. So Boogie, where he is standing, has no duty to retreat in his own home or on the curtilage. Curtilage is the immediate area surrounding the domicile, not the property. So probably like a 2-foot, 3-foot sort of barrier around your building is your curtilage. Okay. So, let's see. And a law enforcement officer or a person assisting at the direction of a law enforcement officer, they have no duty to retreat. And, let's see. All right. Curtilage means the land adjoining a dwelling that is convenient for residential purposes and habitually used for residential purposes, but not necessarily enclosed. It includes an outbuilding that is directly and intimately connected with the dwelling and in close proximity to the dwelling. So there is, again, the justification of using deadly force in defense of a person on your property. Now, premises, a person may use deadly force under the circumstances set forth in subsection A of this section if use of deadly force is authorized by the previous section, or the person reasonably believes the use of deadly physical force is necessary to prevent the commission of arson or burglary by a trespasser. Again, trespass is not a sufficient cause for deadly force. Okay? Now let's see the last one, property. Non-deadly physical force upon another person when to the extent the person reasonably believes the use of non-deadly physical force is necessary to prevent or terminate the other person's commission or attempted commission of theft. This non-deadly force, this is pointless. And then we've got law enforcement officers. So that's not really necessary. Now we have defending persons and property within the home here. But this is in the individual's home. We don't have any indication that Frank went into the home. So, I think Boogie's estimation of using the Castle Doctrine here is not going to work in his favor.
I'll end you.
Yeah, well, there you go, buddy. You want me to get off the fence? You want me to stop playing nice guy? Well, for a fucking 3 months of you harassing me, I'm done. Okay? 3 months of you harassing me, I'm done. Okay?
Okay, Frank, let's let Frank talk again, because Boogie, you keep jumping over him. And
He likes talking over.
He called me a liar. I wanted to defend myself.
I know.
Name one fucking thing I've lied about, Frank.
I thought it would be fun to visit my friend in Fayetteville and post an image on Twitter, and apparently Boogie is having a full-on mental breakdown.
Yeah, post an image on Twitter. I wouldn't give a fuck about you being on Dixon Street if you weren't tagging me in it, you dipshit.
You live in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I was just saying, what's up?
No, you were calling me a pussy, you fucking lying dipshit. Then come here and come talk to this pussy. Come talk to this pussy, Frank.
Stop telling him to come to your house so you can shoot him. That's a bad idea, Boogie.
I'll show you fucking pussy.
This is very weird.
It shouldn't be fucking weird.
We're just going in circles. We're just going in circles. I'm just.
Whoa. Story fire. What happened? What? Where did it go? Did Keem take it down or something? That'd be dumb.
We're just
Frank,
going in
you've harassed
circles.
me.
We're just
Yeah,
going in
Frank.
circles. I'm
All right,
just.
well-
Reload the page. We're at 10:42. We'll try it again.
What is up, Trauma Alert Nation? I'm your host, Killer.
You
This
fucking.
is very weird.
It
Sounds like
shouldn't
you
be
wanna have
fucking
Well,
weird.
we're just
Frank,
going in
you've harassed
circles.
me.
We're just
Yeah,
going in
Frank.
circles. I'm
All right,
just
well,
trying
then
to.
I'll hang up. And
It's
you can
back
talk
now.
to Frank all you fucking want when I'm done, okay? But Frank, I'm gonna make it very clear. My name doesn't come out of your mouth anymore, okay? You don't fucking tag me on Twitter anymore. You don't fucking do this anymore, okay? Leave me the fuck alone. I don't know who the fuck you are.
You got to get a restraining order for that, bruh. You can't just tell someone not to talk about you. Like that's not a thing that you can do.
I don't know what the fuck your problem is, but I do know I will take out the fucking trash if I have to, buddy. All right? You've come
I
to my
will
fucking
do whatever I
let me
want,
finish,
and
buddy.
you
You
will
can talk.
fucking
You can
deal
say
with
whatever
it.
the
This
fuck
is
you want when
Frank
I'm gone.
House's
You
world,
can say
and
whatever
you
the
live
fuck
with
you
that,
want when
boy.
I'm gone, Frank. Now listen. I will take out the fucking trash if I have to, okay? Step foot on my property, you die. We're locked
The
and
only
fucking
thing you
loaded.
take out
Hey,
are the
Frank,
20-year-old hookers
Frank,
who pay
listen,
to watch movies
listen.
with you.
Frank, I need you to listen, baby.
You can't kill someone for stepping on your property, no matter how much warning you give them. This is maybe something people misunderstand. But if I say, if you come onto my property, you will die, that is not justification for killing someone on your property. It's just not. If it were that easy, I mean, we'd have a lot of problems solved in this world, but it's not that easy.
Okay? And I'm going to hang up and you can say whatever the fuck you want
You are
to.
crying and singing
I'm not
because of
crying,
a Twitter
Frank. I'm
post.
threatening your life, Frank.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Boogie! What was that? What was that? What are we supposed to... Oh, come on!
And
I'm
I am not
threatening
scared,
your
nor
life,
do I
Frank. I'm
care,
letting you
because
know
you're a
that if
fat
you
pussy.
step foot on my property, Frank, because you have threatened me, Frank, because you said you would ball gag me, because you said you would rape me, because you said you would...
Wait, did Frank say he would rape him?
come to my house
and
because you
fuck.
said that there was a reckoning, because you said that there was going to be damage done to me, because you have fucking threatened me. Castle Doctrine says I can fucking end you the moment you touch one of my blades of grass. And
That is not at all what Castle Doctrine says. To be very clear. To be very clear, that's not what Castle Doctrine... Now, if Frank made a... Again, Boogie's got this problem. Frank has given him, though his behavior may be trollish, Frank has given him ammunition, not to fire back at him, but for defense. And it's simple. I am in fear of this person. They threaten to rape me, and I am afraid that they will. But Boogie isn't saying that. Critically, Boogie is maintaining a level of annoyance against Frank, which might support, it might be used as evidence to support something like, a harassment charge, right? Like, Boogie was actually annoyed. That is circumstantial evidence that Frank may have intended to annoy him. Stuff like that. However, he has not once said, I'm afraid of you. You have put me in fear, in trepidation. He said he's been awake for 24 hours or whatever. He didn't say, I've been awake for 24 hours because I'm in fear for my safety. And he probably doesn't want to look like a giant pussy on the internet. But he has not maintained fear in this encounter. And that, again, hampers any sort of self-defense claim.
And that's
Fucking
my
cry about
fucking
it.
intention. You know where I live, Frank? I'm waiting. We're locked and loaded. Show the fuck up.
you are unhinged, dude.
Yes, I
There's
am.
something wrong with
Surprise,
you.
surprise. The guy with mental health issues after being harassed for 3 months by your fucking pussy ass got a little unhinged. Who's fucking surprised by that?
Okay, Boogie, we're going in circles here. Just everything you said, you said at least 5 times. All right, let's try to switch the conversation here a little bit. Frank, what is your beef? What is your actual beef with Boogie? I asked this earlier, but it got cut off. What is your beef?
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily legitimate beef. You know, I've read a lot about Boogie online, and I have a personal friend who he's like victimized with his lies and his weird, almost pedophilic behavior that he engages in. It's very strange and very disturbing. He's a 45-year-old man hitting up girls in their late teens and early 20s to come to
I've
his
literally
house.
never done that, Frank. That's a lie. Why are you lying?
I'm
I've
telling the
literally
truth.
never done that, Frank.
You have.
Well,
Who?
I mean,
Who, Frank?
if he's hitting up a girl that's of
Who, Frank?
age,
Name
you
a
know.
girl
Oh, no,
under the age of 25. I haven't fucking name a girl under the age of 25. I've hit up, Frank. Go right ahead, because you fucking can't, because they don't fucking exist.
I'm not.
You're
I'm
fucking
not
lying.
naming any names. That's weird.
Because you're fucking lying.
But
you
let
dipshit.
can we let Frank talk? Just
It's not even necessarily about that, really. I just think it's funny. I'm down for anything that's funny, and this is hilarious. This guy is
I am an
completely
unwitting
insane.
participant in your joke.
No.
I do not wish to go any further.
You don't have to be a witting participant in a joke. Call the police. Report as harassment. I mean, there are things you can do to establish a record, especially if you're talking about walking out with a gun, man.
I will press charges and I will end you. So please stop. I
Frank,
do not find
kill
it.
me like 10
Frank, is
times
it
in
true
the
that
past
you
30
believe
seconds.
Frank, is it true that you believe that Boogie took down your YouTube channel?
Yes.
Absolutely not the fucking case, Frank. Let me ask you
Boogie,
this.
you're a
Frank,
fat
hey,
liar.
Frank,
You lie
Frank,
about everything.
Frank, is your video edit re-uploaded to YouTube on a different channel? Isn't it?
That happens all the time, though. That happens
Yes,
to
exactly.
David R.
Now,
and
wouldn't I
like
take
H2H
that channel
video.
down?
I
Hey,
mean,
Frank, if I had the power.
No, not necessarily. I mean, people do this a lot. They take out the main target of their ire. They don't necessarily take out all the mirrors of that are doing it, because the goal isn't necessarily to remove the content. The goal is to hurt the content creator. So no, that's a silly line.
And I wanted that video buried, wouldn't I take that channel down too?
It's got like 10,000 views now, though. Nobody cares.
It doesn't matter. The point that I'm making is, if I didn't want it seen, I would have that taken down too. I didn't act on your channel. I'm not going to act on the new channel. I've never acted on a channel. I've never acted on a subreddit. You're fucking delusional.
I don't believe you. You're a liar.
You don't
I
have
went
to
on-
fucking believe me, but you're
I went on the
still
kill stream,
fucking
and that's somebody
delusional.
that take it down
You're
like a
still
day later.
fucking delusional.
You threatened
If
to
I
kill
was
me
going to
like
have a
10
video
times.
taken down, Frank, wouldn't I have the video from 4 years ago where a woman falsely accused me of abusing her taken down?
Ugh,
If I was going to
you
have
are
videos
disgusting.
Not necessarily. I mean, it's not the best line of reasoning by Boogie. I know Frank's trolling him. It's pretty obvious, but
taken down, Frank, wouldn't I fucking started with that, you dipshit? Use your fucking brain if you have one.
I am chaotic evil, bro. I just want to have a laugh, and you're giving me a lifetime worth of laughs
Chaotic
right
neutral.
now.
Well, good,
Boogie,
motherfucker.
Boogie,
it'll
what
it'll
about
be
that?
the end of your life if you show up. I
What-
want to drive that
You're
home.
playing right into
What
my
about
dreams,
that,
man.
though,
I don't know
Boogie?
if you
Good,
think it's
cool.
gonna happen.
Boogie,
Cool,
let me
almost
ask you a
as if I was
question.
mentally
Hold up,
ill.
hold up,
Almost
hold
as if
up,
I
hold
didn't
up,
have
hold up,
trouble, man.
hold up. All right. What Frank is saying here is that he is trolling you. He wants this reaction
Yeah.
from you. That he's not a
funny.
serious threat to you. If that's
And
true,
here's what I'm saying. I am a serious threat to you.
oh
Keep
my
fucking
God!
pushing me,
Stop it!
and it-
Stop, Boogie! Stop! What are you doing? So Keemstar just tells you Frank is here saying he's not a threat to you, and you respond with, "But I am a threat to you." Again, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna pull out the defense? Jesus Christ, this internet tough guy shit is so silly.
It'll be the last fucking laugh you have. So I'm fucking done, Frank, and it's time to fucking stop.
I don't
Okay?
believe you.
All right, then show up. Show up.
Okay, I'm gonna
We're
leave.
locked and loaded,
help.
Frank. Show up.
You should
Okay,
seek help.
I'm gonna
Let's
give
go back.
Frank the last word because he hasn't got to talk at all. Frank, we're gonna end it right now with you. Go ahead and say your piece.
I don't really know if I have any peace. Boogie is a fat liar with a tendency to dramatize everything and freak out and start crying and making outlandish statements. And I think it's funny as fuck, honestly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it right there. Boogie versus Frank Hassell, and we'll keep you updated on where this story
Thank you, King.
goes.
I really appreciate you, man. Frank, just leave me the fuck alone, buddy.
Cry about it. You're like trauma now to try to.
No, I'm just going to explain to you that, hey, this is hard for me. I'd like to
I
put
don't
it behind
care.
us and making you that offer.
I don't care at all.
Why? What is wrong with you
Because
that
I
you don't
don't.
care? That
I
you're
don't give a fuck
that
about
you're
you.
torturing me and my roommate. Why do you think this is funny?
You're like a grown man, and you're like 50 years old, and you have a roommate.
Yes, he's my best friend of 25 years. We're family. Why is that funny?
Somebody told me that he hates you and that he won't talk to you. Is that true?
Well, no, we're fucking close friends. We've been hanging out all night. It's his
Somebody
gun I'm
who
going to
knows you
kill you
personally
with. It's
told me
his
that he
gun
hates
I'm going to kill you with.
God damn it, Boogie! Stop! Oh, come on! Oh my God! No! 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 No!
It's his gun I'm going to kill you with. We've been hanging out since you fucking made your post on
I don't
Dixon.
think you should. I don't think you should threaten to kill people with other people's guns. That seems very
Shouldn't
dangerous.
threaten to kill
Oh,
people
the
with
cops
any
seemed
guns.
to think it was okay when I talked to him tonight.
Okay.
The cops seemed to think it would be okay, whatever gun I fucking use.
Stop trying to get me to sympathize with you.
I mean, to be clear, it doesn't really matter what gun it is. That's not the problem. Like, if you call a cop and say, look, if I have to defend myself and I use my roommate's gun, is that a problem? He's going to say, well, no. He might say, are you legally allowed to be in possession of a firearm? Or something like that. Well, no, it's not. It doesn't matter what gun it is. That's very, very, very unimportant. Like, you could find a gun in the bushes and use it to kill your threatener. The legal elements of lethal self-defense have nothing to do with whose gun it is.
I'm not trying to, Frank. I'm trying to tell you, however we end this tonight, it needs to end tonight, buddy. Okay?
No, I know. Fuck you.
Okay, cool. Then fuck you. I know you already have it in your fucking phone, you little pussy. Show the fuck up. Show the fuck up and let me put up. Show the fuck up.
You are a grown
Come
man
here, pussy. Come here, pussy. Come here, pussy. Come here, pussy, 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 little fucking pussy. Oh, I drove all the way to your town, but I don't have the balls to actually show up. Come on, pussy. Come on,
Oh,
pussy.
no, you're a
Come on,
pussy.
pussy, pussy. I'm
Yeah,
on your
I wanna
town,
do it.
but I won't try.
I mean, do you guys know what this sounds like? This sounds like intent. This sounds like intent.
Drive the extra 3 miles. I won't drive the extra 3 miles because I'm such a fucking pussy. Show the fuck up. I will fucking end you. Come on. Try me.
You are a fucking weirdo. You
Try
have mental
me.
problems.
Yes, I do. I'm very open about that. I'm very
You should not
open
be on
about
the
that,
internet.
Frank. I'm very
If you have mental problems, get off the internet immediately. Get off the internet.
open about that.
If people online making posts upsets you this much, you should consider not being online.
Obviously, maybe you should not be online threatening people, you sick fuck.
I'm fucking winning, bro.
Yeah, good job. Good job. Come here and lose. Come here and lose. You bring your friends. I don't care if I die as long as you do. Come on.
I don't care if I die.
I don't. I'm a nihilist,
wrong
Frank.
with you,
I don't
man?
give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I meant what I said. Don't hurt my dog. Don't hurt my roommate. I don't give a fuck what
You
happens
think
to
I want
me.
to hurt anybody?
Yeah, that the whole like hurting thing is weird. He's trying to maintain some level of something, but again, Frank just said, "Why do you think I want to hurt anybody?"
It's really crazy. You are
You
fucking.
are
insane.
hurting me, Frank. You are hurting me, Frank. This
I
hurts.
am doing psychic damage to you, and you are crying.
Yes, psychic damage, but I don't cry over trash like you, buddy. There's nothing you
Seems
can
like
do
you've
to
been
me that
crying for the
there's hey
past 20
Frank, there's
minutes.
nothing you can do to me that ain't already been done, buddy. This
That's not fear. Nothing you can do to me that ain't already been done. Perception check accurately assesses terminal cringe.
is status fucking quo for me. This is status fucking quo for me. So show the fuck up and let me show you how I handle status quo.
Why do you keep threatening to shoot me? This is weird.
Because I'm going to fucking kill you and take pleasure doing it.
No! God! Boogie! Stop! Oh! Look, the jokes end. The jokes end. Right? Like you can excuse a lot of jokes. Boogie has made it very clear that he's not joking about killing someone. I'm all for jokes, but Jesus Christ, Boogie. Are you trying to go to jail?
That's because I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna take pleasure.
Shut the fuck
doing it.
up. Go eat your cane.
Okay. Okay.
You need to chill, bro.
No,
You're
you're less
Okay.
than 4 miles away from me last night, pussy. You can't drive 4 fucking miles. You can't drive 4 fucking miles to actually.
You are
deliver your
unhinged.
threats.
All
I'm on
right,
what?
Boogie, you're
I'm
kind of
playing
losing
you
it,
like a
man.
fiddle,
You're
buddy.
losing it, man. Come on,
Oh
Boogie.
yes, surprise, Keem. Are you surprised by that?
No.
The guy who's been the whole time.
Okay. You surprised, Keem. You surprised by that? No. That was funny.
Mentally ill still today.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I know. I'm just saying.
I-
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That's what I am.
Okay.
That's what's wrong with me.
Well,
That's what's wrong with me,
Boogie,
right?
he's obviously trolling you, so stop
Yeah.
giving him a reaction.
Oh,
Saying you're gonna kill
don't have
somebody
a
who's
choice
pissing
in
you off.
reaction.
is so
I do
insane.
have a choice in ending him. So once again, this town is only 10 miles away.
You do not have a choice in ending him at this point. Not at all. I mean, I guess in the you do, I guess, theoretically, like you always have the choice to murder someone. Jesus Christ, I get, like, I have the choice to go to my local Kmart and stab a bunch of people. Like, I have that choice. Oh boy. Michael Tynan says, "Hey Nick, if Boogie publicly states he's unhinged, isn't he jeopardizing his Second Amendment rights?" Yeah, more the worst one for me was him saying he is mentally ill. Yes, he is.
10 miles apart. I'm in the middle of it. You can't be more than 5 miles from me right now, you pussy.
I'm like 5 minutes from you at this moment right now.
Then come
You
here.
shit.
Come the fuck
Have-
here. Follow
have a
fucking
soda
through. Follow
and a
fucking
volley
through.
on your favorite
Follow
chips and
fucking
cake
through.
and watch a
Follow
movie
fucking
and calm
through.
down.
Follow fucking through, and I will
Have
end
one of
you.
your hookers come over.
I don't have any hookers,
Play
brother.
Your weird little cock.
There are no
okay? Just
hookers. This
chill
is
out.
all more bullshit by you. Come say that to my face.
I
Come
own
say that
you,
to my
dude.
face.
Stop
Come
crying.
say that to my face. Come falsely accuse me of hookers to my face.
Bro. Go
Come
to sleep.
falsely accuse me right now.
All right.
Take his
All right.
Xanax.
I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna hang up the Skype call, guys. This is getting
Yeah,
out
that's a
of
good
control.
Have a
idea.
great day.
Keem.
Hey,
Nice talking to you.
All right. Wild stuff. So that's what happened
Okay.
last night. Now today,
I think we get to see the
Frank
video
shows
now.
up to Boogie's house. Actually shows up, and this is what happens. Roll it.
Come on, you fucking pussy. What's the deal? Where's the gun at, you fat?
F slurs.
Open fire! Open fire!
Hey Sam, this doesn't have to, Cameron, this doesn't have to go down this way, buddy.
You're a fat pussy.
Yeah.
You won't even open the door?
Oh, I will.
And then what, you're gonna shoot me?
No, I'm thinking my roommate will.
You're gonna kill me?
I guess so, buddy. Just give me a second to get my dog wrangled.
You're a fucking pussy.
This is such a weird instance, okay? Because Frank is not doing himself any favors here. Like, obviously, in a world of rational people, like, you don't do this. I think that much is obvious, but Frank saying, like, "Are you going to shoot me?" Again, isn't actually justification for shooting someone. Frank hasn't, at this point, to my knowledge, put Boogie in reasonable fear of harm to himself or his roommate. And by the way, it is unlikely that fearing for the safety of the dog is justification for killing a person. Not that I think Frank has put him in fear of harming the dog in any way either, except maybe when Boogie picks it up. That's a joke about Boogie's arms being big and flabby and smothering the dog, and the dog being little. Okay, I'm rambling.
Pussy, dude.
Oh, hold on. I'll show you pussy, bud. Easy, air.
Where did this video come? Did Boogie post this? Was Boogie this stupid to post the video of his very potentially unlawful act?
Air guy. Yeah. Hey, you mind grabbing my dog?
Wait, what was just said?
A second to get my dog wrangled.
You're
Hold
a
on.
fucking pussy, dude.
I wasn't
Hold on,
listening.
I'll show you pussy, bud.
What does he say to the
Easy, air. Air guy. Yeah. Hey, you mind grabbing my dog?
He said he's the air guy. I thought he said air gun. I thought he said air gun, but he said air guy. Okay.
You ready?
I don't know if you heard Frank. Frank says, yeah, open fire at a guy standing at your door. It sounds like a really smart decision. Now, on the list of smart decisions, Frank is not high because he is standing at the door of a self-admitted mentally ill person who has threatened to kill him about 50 times by my counting. But opening fire on said person is it's a rung or two down the ladder of dumb decisions. Bad Vibes. Bad Vibes says, I would argue that the threat is based on Frank's actions. Boogie said, come and I will do X. Frank had control of the interaction. The threat wouldn't have been credible otherwise. No, that's actually not how it works, though. If I say you come to my house and I'll kill you, I'm still subjected to the self-defense standards that are otherwise there. You can say Frank was harassing Boogie. Absolutely. I think at this point, there is sufficient justification to say that Frank may be guilty of harassing Boogie, but it does not justify aggravated assault, which brandishing a gun and pointing it at someone in a threatening manner is, nor would it justify the subsequent shooting of Frank outside of a showing of reasonable fear of imminent death or bodily harm. It hasn't happened. Boogie hasn't shown it subjectively, and objectively it isn't there either.
Buddy, you threatened my life. 1 second, buddy. Sammy, up.
He says there, that's the first indication of some fear. He says, buddy, you threatened my life. I haven't heard it. Maybe he's talking about the thing on the kill stream. But again, the question with the kill stream stuff, and I don't know, is this kayfabe? You know where you are. This is a place where people scream at each other and talk shit. Boogie's not that dumb. He knows what the kill stream is.
I want to make sure my dog's protected. Come here. Sammy, up. Come here. Come here. Sammy, up. Come here. 1 second, bud.
1 second. I'm going to kill you in just a minute. Hold on. Got to grab my dog. Got to get some things ready. I'll be out to murder you in just a moment, pal. Hold on. Hang out there, please. Don't leave, though. Don't go. I'm not going to tell you to get off my property. What I'm going to do is tell you to hang out for a minute while I plan to kill you. This is another problem Boogie has. Ask him to leave. Call the police. He's got him. dead to rights on trespass and harassment if he says, there's a guy, I've told him about 1,000 times to stay away from me. Can you please remove him? I've asked him to leave. I've seen him through the Ring doorbell. I'm in communication with him. I'm not feeling safe. The guy is trying to harm me. He's causing me physical and mental harm. Please come get him. The cops will be there immediately. We're talking Fayetteville, Arkansas. This isn't like LA or something. Like, how big is Fayetteville? I assume there's going to be cops somewhere close by. This is, but he isn't doing that. And that goes against the ruling of a trespass. Again, a trespass typically involves, someone knowingly entering your property or remaining on your property after their invitation to enter has been extinguished. So here he hasn't extinguished that that invitation. You have a generalized invitation to show up at someone's door. Plus, he told him several times, come. I know the context, but he did say, come over. Maybe they were going to resolve their dispute by screaming at each other or whatever. But he hasn't revoked the invitation.
Yeah, I am. Protecting my dog, bud.
Protecting your dog from what?
Yes, sir. Okay. Is it cocked and ready? Let's just pull the trigger.
Is it cocked and ready? That's what she said. Seculara says, I first saw Frank when he collabed with Sam Hyde. When I heard he was screwing with Boogie, I instantly tuned in. Some great nectar.
Pull the trigger.
Okay. Is this what I have to do? I'm asking you to leave,
You
Sam.
fat fucking.
I'm asking you to leave, Sam.
Okay, now he's asking him to leave, which is the first positive thing he's done. But the problem is, we don't have video here. This is just still pictures of Boogie and Frank posted by Keem. So I don't know what happens after this. We just have audio right now. If Boogie comes out with the gun, he's already committed aggravated assault before he asked him to leave.
Oh my god.
I'm asking you
Is
to
this
leave.
real?
Yes.
Is this guy gonna kill me?
Yes. He's here to look at the air conditioner, Sam. Is this what I have to
You're
do?
a fucking.
Is this what I
Are
have
you
to
gonna
do?
shoot me in your doorway?
Yes.
You're fucking deranged.
I'm asking you to leave. This is my home. You are not welcome here. You have threatened my life. I'm asking you to leave. In about 30 seconds, I'm going to fire a warning shot. And the second won't
Fire
be
it now.
Okay.
Fire the warning shot now.
Is this what we have to do?
You fucking dummy.
I'm asking you to leave, Sam.
Sam?
Cameron, I don't know your fucking name. I'm asking you to leave.
Did he think Frank was Sam Hyde? Did Sam Hyde just get blamed for this by Boogie?
I'm asking you to leave, man. Please don't make me do this. Please don't make me do this.
Will you just leave his property so I can leave?
Why's this guy got a gun?
I'm just here looking at
Because
air
I
conditioning.
feel threatened.
This guy's about to kill.
I'm just here looking at air conditioners. I thought that was your roommate.
Somebody right
Yes.
in front of you.
Why are you on his property?
I'll
then?
shoot to wound. I promise you that.
If you're gonna shoot the wound, you should shoot.
Never shoot to wound. Ever, ever, ever. No. No. Do not shoot to wound. No. That's not a thing. Don't ever do it. Don't shoot to wound.
Shoot yourself.
No, I plan to shoot you, bud. I'm asking
Right
you
here.
to leave.
Right here.
Okay?
Right here.
Okay. I'm asking you to leave.
You pointing a gun at me?
Yes. You are on my property. You have threatened my life.
You are a fat.
Castle doctrine.
You're a fat. Castle doctrine means I get to take you inside and fuck you.
Okay.
Okay, that was a funny line by Frank. Not gonna lie, that was very funny.
Sam, please don't make me do
Who's
this.
Sam?
I don't know. I don't know.
Regardless, the cops are coming.
Okay.
So you need
Have
to
a good
leave the
one.
property.
Hey, leave the property. Go.
Fuck yourself, nigger.
Go. What the fuck? That's the language you use?
That's the language you use? You came out of your house with a gun!
Keep walking, pussy. Keep walking.
Keep walking, pussy! Are you fucking kidding me? Boogie's talking tough after answering his door with a gun? Boogie, man, you are a pussy. What is that? What is that?
Pussy.
Unbelievable. Now, this is what I'm being told right now. The police are investigating Boogie for shooting that round in the air in city limits. They're also investigating Frank. You know, I feel like Frank is going to deal with charges for actually showing up to Boogie's house. Guys, I want the safety of all involved to stay.
All right, that's enough. I'm not going to play the last 20 seconds of Keemstar because we have to sufficiently trim the video, right, for copyright purposes. Okay. Okay. You guys can make up your decision, but I'll tell you mine. It looks to me a lot like Boogie committed aggravated assault. I don't see any justification for it. I see Frank being an asshole. I see Frank being an absolute cunt bag to Boogie. Absolutely. I do not suggest that anyone do that. I think that Boogie may have engaged in harassing behavior. But I mean, I think if they wanted to charge Boogie with aggravated assault to Frank, he would have a very hard time defending himself. Let me be clear. Like Obama, right? I don't think Boogie is going to be charged with aggravated assault. It may happen. I think what's likely going to happen is the cops are going to go, these are two internet spurgs, and we're going to just seriously they're going to tell Frank, fucking go home. They're going to tell Boogie, stop being fat and stupid. Like, that's how that's the most likely outcome. So do not take my words to mean, oh, someone's going to jail. Someone could go to jail over this. These are unlawful acts. Whether or not they'll be prosecuted is two very different questions. But I think Boogie almost definitely is guilty under the law of aggravated assault. Like, you cannot do that. He indicated a prior intent that really calls into question any amount of self-defense claims he might raise. Very, very unwise, very stupid decisions to make by all parties involved. Frank, best I can figure, harassment, maybe a misdemeanor, would be a possibility. He would say that he had a legitimate purpose of performative art. He would probably say that Boogie was inviting him and engaging in sort of a internet beef back and forth that was played up for the audience. That would be a great defense. Lots of you guys have said, this is fake, this is staged. Frank could actually try and make that argument. That this is all kayfabe, that he was under the impression that this was staged. They were hamming it up for the cameras. They knew what was going on. They went on the kill stream. They went on drama alert. Like, and if you're being charged with a crime, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Keemstar, I don't think, has any liability in this. He's just letting two idiots scream at each other. That's fine. So, yeah. Actually, probably good advice for both people would be to suggest that it was staged together. And then neither of you might be guilty of a crime. So you may want to think about that possibility. David Ochoa says, two idiots still walk this earth. That's sort of a win, but humanity suffers a little bit from it. All right, guys. That is that's the Boogie situation. I mean, that's what it is. That was a long segment, but we had to go through the video. props to Keem for hosting those two guys. I think he did a decent enough job interviewing them. Boogie particularly said many unadvisable things. And Frank did a couple unadvisable things, but on the whole, Frank's a troll. Boogie looks way worse than Frank in this situation to me. Frank looks like a dick. Boogie looks like a criminal. So there you go. There you go. Hopefully everybody will get over this and stop being internet tough guys and just get back to making fun of each other like good, sensible people do. All right. I've got a couple chats that I said I would put off till after that segment, and I'm going to do that. And then I guess we got to talk about Ron for a few minutes, and then we'll wrap up the show. Phoenix Orem says in Lemon Voice, "It's all the same. Only the coof will change. Every day, it seems we're wheezing away. Another con where the sleuths are so cold. A simple night just to get back home. I'm a soy boy. On depositions I ride. I'm wheezing. One lung alive." Ball's palsy is cleared up. I'm taking it easy and relaxing at home. Hope you and Lady Raggets are doing okay. Godspeed. Hey, thanks, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that for the chats. Very weird. Okay. Tipster says, "Thanks for discussing this in detail. While Frank is definitely in the wrong here, there are a lot of internet lawyers out there who fail to realize that Boogie made several mistakes here. Appreciate your input. Thanks, Nick." Hey, Tipster. Hey, man, I saw some about your channel the other day. You doing okay? I hope everything's going well for you. I hope everything's going great. So, all right. Yeah, sorry to you guys who don't understand the inside joke of that wheezing voice, but that's kind of a running theme on this channel from a brain damaged lawyer down in Texas. Pay no attention to the brain dead lawyer down in Texas. All right, I'm pulling up the I'm pulling up the Ron Toye stuff. This happened over the weekend. Again, we're going to cover this very quickly just because, you know, I know many of you aren't on Twitter. Don't follow Twitter. And you shouldn't. Twitter is trash. But we'll do it. We'll do it. Let's see. You're remonetized again thanks to your MCN. Thanks for asking. All good. Glad to hear it, buddy. Keep doing what you do, man. Keep doing what you do. Okay. Here are... Thanks, Windows. What is this? What happened? Damn it, just a second. Just skip down a whole bunch. Okay, here we go. Gosh, hold on. I gotta get this bigger. That's what she said. Whoa! All right, so here I am. Here I am. This is me, you know, September 25th, hanging out at a swanky party. We have the menu. It was great. I mentioned it earlier. Then I made fun of liberal arts college degrees. Now, the amazing thing to me were the amount of people coming in and defending liberal arts college degrees, I guess on the justification that I have one. That's why I think they're worthless, is because I have one. You dummies. Oh my God. Liberal arts degrees. You imagine spending $100,000 to learn how to read a book? Fuck's sake. Oh my God, what a disaster. All right, here we go. So, I put down, I go away for one weekend and Ron Toye is doxing and cyberstalking a 10-year-old. Get help, you child predator. Get help, you child predator. Okay. If you don't know the lore on this, let me fill you in. Yes, there's a movie tonight. If you don't know the lore on this, let me fill you in. Ron Toye. Ron Toye is the perpetual boyfriend, never husband of fat voice actress Monica Rial. You may know her as the voice of Bulma, or you probably just don't know her because she is unimportant. That being said, Ron Toye is her perpetual boyfriend, who she will never marry. He is also a known wife beater and threatener of children. So, Ron allegedly had his direct messages on Twitter, quote unquote, la-hacked. La-hacked. Now, what happens when anything happens to Ron Toye? He thinks automatically that it was me. But Ron, I guess, doesn't remember that I can barely operate Streamlabs. I certainly don't know how to hack a Twitter, or an Twitter as it were. I don't know how to do any of that. But he immediately thinks I have hacked his DMs. Ron, if I hacked your DMs, oh, buddy, they would be everywhere, all of them. He thinks this because some DMs between him and a woman who weighs roughly 2 metric boogies, the DMs between them have been leaked, I guess. Now, what's interesting about this is, in the DMs, both the 2 boogie-sized fatso and Ron Toye are thirsty as fuck for each other, and it is gross. It is disgusting because, remember, Ron is allegedly dating a beluga whale, and here he is jerking it to a humpback. It's gross. Very nasty. And the humpback has basically opened the blowhole and is spraying all over the place. I do not recommend you read them. I do not recommend anything happen with them. It is silly. It is gross. It's embarrassing. Both of them should find independent Minecraft servers and dig down as far as they can. Okay? That being said, I don't know how to hack anything. I can barely remember my own password, much less using Malit hacking to figure out someone else's. But I think we have some Ron. Do we have some Ron responses in here? I can't remember if it was this one or not. I'll probably just go to the ones I replied to. Okay. Oh my God. So here we go. Is he in here? If not, I'll just go to the ones where he did respond, because the man is clinically incapable of not responding. I couldn't remember if it was here. So then, I'm promoting Dan Fraga's YouTube channel. Check it out. He's great. Black Tide Rising, of course, is also approaching 30,000. Go check that out. That's great. Anyway, so Ron. Oh, he did respond to me. I don't know why I couldn't see it. Here we go. Oh, goodness. I got to move this over just a hair so you guys can see the... There we are. I said gifting in my tweet, not grifting. Yeah, I know. My phone doesn't recognize grifting as a word yet because it doesn't know me. So it auto-corrected to gifting. So Ron says this: I will be hiring a few private investigators. Wink. Someone shared a fun story of this exact thing, so I'll be following her lead. I don't know who he's talking about. It's irrelevant to me. What's great is the thought of Ron Toye hiring private investigators. Oh, I didn't mention it. I didn't go through this. Ron, in his fury in all of this, in his little manlet fury, Ron Toye has doxed what appears to be a 10-year-old child who plays Roblox. Now, I have to point this out because I don't think people understand. A 35-ish year old manlet in Flower Mound, Texas, in his efforts to gotcha the trolls and hackers, thought that because someone's Twitter handle was close to the username of a child on Roblox, that he should release the child on Roblox's name to the world and accuse him of hacking the account. This is what Ron Toye did. All right? He released the name of a child because he's too retarded to understand that someone on Twitter has a Twitter handle and someone on Roblox might have a similar name, not the same, and those could be, just in theory, vastly different people. Vastly different people. But this is the genius that is Ron Toye. Is why he's so wonderful and a treasure to the earth. He's so stupid. He is so utterly incompetent. And I mean, at some point, this is a loan officer, guys. This person determines who to give hundreds of thousands of dollars to, and he's too stupid to eat toast. He can't figure it out. So, he has now promised to hire private investigators. Hopefully, they will have a few more brain cells than than Ron, who decided a child hacked his Twitter account. Hopefully. But this will be nothing but comedy can come from this. Nothing but comedy can come from this. And the best part is, I know exactly what I've done. Take that how you will, Ron Toye, who's probably still paying some asshole to transcribe this. I know exactly what I've done. Send all the private investigators in the world. Pay them toppest of dollars. Hire Christopher Steele, who did the Trump dossier. Put me in the room with the Ukrainian hookers urinating all over the place. I can't wait. I can't wait. Please be funny. That's all I ask. Please be funny. All right. Whew. So anyway, yeah. So I said, good. Hopefully that poor kid's parents hire private investigators too. You're a nasty weirdo. He is a nasty weirdo. This man is a nasty weirdo. All right, so I have to skip back to this one because I'm not cool enough to only retweet. I sometimes reply in line. So, this is in response to his private investigators tweet. And we go a couple tweets down. I say he's dumb enough to think he's going to get me. You can't get me, Ron. I cover my tracks too well. But I will hire private distractigators to combat his lame, low-rent investigators. Do you guys even know how much distractigating I can buy? I'm the grift champion of the world, baby. I can distractigate everybody. Anything. That's your choice, wink face. Hope you saved up. Which is true. Distractigators are very expensive. You guys have no idea what my monthly distractigator bill is. Do you know how much it costs? I gotta buy 85 Robux a month for that kid that Ron doxed to pay my distractigators off. Oh, God. What a fucking idiot. So I said, I think I'll manage. Right? With your elite, I'm going to dox children technique, I'm fairly certain you'll find me in Utah. This man has no idea. He has no idea. He is unhinged. He is maybe more unhinged than Boogie. So he responds to me directly. Bob the Troll King says, "You insult me, sir. I distractigate for free." He responds to my last tweet about managing. Wink face. For the context of the people who may not be familiar with Ron Toye has admitted in the past that he uses emojis to help remind himself when he is losing control of his own emotions. So you know when Ron is using emojis that Ron is mad or some other almost uncontrollable emotion, and this is his cope. His admitted cope. That he uses these things to catch himself when his emotions are getting the better of him. Now, it's not very effective because he is still being stupid, but this indicates an emotional trigger of Ron Toye, and it's the funniest thing on the planet. Because you always know when you've gotten under his skin. He just tells you. He just says it. Romeo Garbo says, "To the Distractigator Fund." Oh, thank you. Wink face. Nick, in the last 18 months, have I given you the slightest hint that I won't do exactly what I say I will? Yes! Yes! 1,000 times yes! Ron, you failed to do anything you've said you'd do in the last 18 months. Everything you have said you would do, you haven't done. You haven't produced the video of your one wife, your first wife, saying that she supports you and that you're a changed man. You haven't produced any of the evidence you said you'd produce. You haven't produced any of the women you'd say you'd produced. You haven't produced anything at all. You resisted it the entire way. So yeah, I have no confidence that you'll do exactly what you say you will, whatever that is. If you're saying, I think what he's saying in this post is that he is going to hire private investigators. Ron, hire them. Hire the best ones. Hire better ones than you can afford. Go into debt. Please hire all of them. All of them. All roads lead to Rome. All the roads lead to Rome. Hire all of them. As many as you can. Oh my God. Mortgage your house. Mortgage the fat that Monica gives off so you can press it for whale oil and power your lantern. Mortgage all of it to hire more investigators. If you just get just one more investigator, you'll have it, buddy. Do it. You'll get me. I swear you will. You can keep making your jokes, but just remember 18 plus months is a long time and you talk a lot publicly and privately and you've made a lot of people mad. Look, Ron, stop it. Stop talking about people in terms of mass. A lot of people is fatness, not number. They're barely people, to be fair, and the number of people I've actually made mad is embarrassingly small. I'm trying really hard to make a lot more than that mad. But either way, yes, I talk a lot publicly. And yes, I talk in private. Although, you may consider, hypothetically, as someone who has spent the past 3 years talking publicly, they might consider that every private communication at any time could be made public. It might be a thing. I don't know. But maybe someone whose job it is to communicate might understand that private communications can become public at any moment. But I'm interested to see what your investigators turn up. It should be fun. You're curious to see if Ron follows me on Twitter or stalks me. He does not follow me. He literally just obsessively refresh. I don't tag him. I mean, he gets tagged when I retweet him, I guess. But other than that, like that first one, I didn't tag him. Not at all. So there you go. This is Obsession. Obsession by Calvin Klein, featuring Ronald Toye. Ron, get off my dick, bro. It's taken. Boogie's live with Matt Jarbo right now. Uh-oh. The brain trust is in full force. Okay. So I responded, you misspelled fat people. Talking about coming after me for words sure sounds like a slap lawsuit, though. This is funny because Ron presumably won his lawsuit based on the idea that it was a lawsuit against public participation. Every time Ron has threatened me, every single time, it has been in relation to a lawsuit about public participation, about my speech on a public matter. All of them. Every time. And he doesn't understand why this is a stupid idea. Ron, that's because your lawyers are lying to you. If your lawyers have convinced you that suing me is a good idea, they're either stupid or they're playing you for money. One of those two. I guess we'll see. I think that's all I have. Oh, wait, no. No. Here we go. He responded to the kids' parents hiring investigators. He says, they are more than welcome to. This isn't a game and you picked the wrong person to mess with, wink face. You're a grown man. Stop using emojis. Stop it. I said, sounding a little unhinged, Ron. Please stay away from me and my family. You are a violent idiot. Ron Toye has a history of harming women, of threatening to murder women, children, dogs. He needs to stay away. He needs to stay away from me and my family. And I will consider any action by Ron Toye to interfere with my life to be harassment. I will report it to the police immediately. And I will consider any person or agent of Ron Toye a threat on me, and I will act in fear and defense of my family. Absolutely. Absolutely. I thoroughly believe this is a dangerous human. I thoroughly believe this is a dangerous man, and he puts me in fear for my personal safety as well as the safety of my family. Absolutely. So, just to be clear on that, I think Ron is a danger to anyone he's around. Monica, that's you. That's you. I think you're fat, dumb, and ugly, but I don't want you to be hurt by this person like he has hurt the last 2 women in his lives. So anyway, let's talk about some tweets that I don't have. I don't have all of Ron's tweets. They can be found on Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms keeps a running archive of Ron's tweets as far as I can tell. But he has also done some other things where the man again is just unhinged. But you can check them out. There's a Monica Rial and Ron Toye thread on Kiwi Farms where you can find his latest antics. Do that at your own risk. One of the interesting things he said recently, people were pressing him on his failure to produce the video he promised with his ex-wife. And they asked him about his second ex-wife. Because remember, Ron abused 2 women. 2 women. And he very carefully couches his good relationship with his first ex-wife and not his second ex-wife. But he said, and I am roughly quoting, that the ex-wife who matters supports me, indicating that the second ex-wife, who I believe is the one he actually physically abused, and also the one he threatened to murder her child and her new husband, that one, he says, doesn't matter. I wonder why that one doesn't matter. Maybe she doesn't think Ron has changed. Maybe that's what's going on. But anyway, I digress. And you know what's great? I believe Ron himself said this, although I may be conflating Ron with the court filings, although he may have said it and the court filings may have said it. But Ron's first wife and second wife, think about this. Ron's first wife and second wife worked together to record unhinged, murderous rantings from Ron Toye. Because, quote, they knew he would react with murderous, unhinged rantings. The man is an abuser to the point where his second ex-wife worked together with his first ex-wife to record his abusive, monstrous ramblings. The man is dangerous, especially to women. I am not a person who believes that once a person is abusive, they're always abusive. I think people can change. I think they can rehabilitate. Ron, as far as I can tell, is an abuser still. He has not changed. He has not improved. In fact, time and time again, Ron has minimized his abusive behavior. He has continued his abusive behavior. I have no reason to believe that Ron is not dangerous to everyone around him. So anyway, that's what I have on Ron Toye. We're not going to belabor that subject. I'm not going to belabor the Ilhan Omar stuff either. Go check out Project Veritas's video. Watch my video on it. If you're new here, if you're here for the Boogie stuff, subscribe. This is the shit we talk about. Legal stuff, drama stuff, fun stuff, laughing joke stuff as well. Come hang out with us. We do a live stream every weeknight, 11 p.m. Almost every weeknight. Most weeknights. And we've got some good shows coming up this week. Drexel will be back on Thursday and Friday. Tune in for that. I'm trying to book a show with Uncivil Law, one that works for both him and me. I don't know if that'll be this week or next week. That's a man who has to wake up in the morning, whereas I'm a man who typically does not. So check us out. Also, on advice of a very good friend, the audio feed of all of these live streams is going to go up probably as a Patreon reward. So come check us out on Patreon or Subscribestar. It'll be there too. To get access to the audio feed, I'll be working on setting that up ASAP. What about Dean Cain? I need to get a response from Dean Cain and Christopher Hook. Okay? Dean Cain and Christopher Hook are on the block for responses. And I'm working on it. I can't wait to get both of them on the show. I think we'll have great discussions. And yes, I am also working on Josh to talk about the Russell Greer lawsuit. That is something that is happening. And I think someone sent me that Sargon was interested in coming on the show. And I am happy to interview Sargon. I've long been a fan of his content and his channel. I think he's a very interesting guy, and I would love to talk to him. So we'll make that happen if possible. We're going to do super chats, and then we're going to end the show. Romeo Garbo says, Nick, think about this. The transcriber is a grifter in training, and you're their teacher. I mean, they're getting paid to watch this. Congrats, Ron. You brought another grifter into the world, you absolute idiot. Nuxtaku is also... This is my fault. I just need to pitch him a show. I'm in communications with Nux. I want to have him on the show. I just need to pitch a show. So that's coming. All right. Okay, let's do some justice chats and then super chats, and then we will roll over to Twitch after the show, and we will be watching a movie tonight. Come have fun. Come have fun with us. Malik Foxon says, there's a chick that twerks at the corner of an intersection just before I get home with a sign that says Black Lives Matter on it. Today, she had another sign. Blue lives aren't a thing. Neither are black lives, though. Lives are lives, no color. But I'm likely to be hated if I come out saying the gender spectrum isn't a thing. I wonder if that chick works. No. I also wonder when the last time it was she actually spoken to an actual cop off duty rather than seeing negative press of bad actors. You don't want to know how that reaction went. Look, just appreciate the twerking and drive on. Drive on. Crusader Saracen says, so the media is apparently attacking Amy Barrett. Oh yeah, Trump may have nominated, I should say, a Supreme Court justice named Amy Barrett. I'll be looking into that. Of course he did. I'm joking. We'll be looking into that as well coming up. Because, quote, she belongs to a religious group, aka Christian, which deems that husbands are the heads of the household. Yeah, duh. Is that fact really such anathema to these people? It's, you know what it's not a surprise to? It's not a surprise to Christian women who understand exactly what it means for the husband to be the head of the household. For the husband to direct and I wouldn't even say husbands are the head of the household. They're more like the director. And the wives are more like the executive producer. They make it happen. Like the husband sort of guides the ship, and the wives make the ship go, the way I say. the way I look at it. But that's me. That's my experience. I don't know. Crusader Saracen says, have you seen the new Project Veritas video where they actually show money being exchanged for general election mail-in ballots? I have not, but I'm looking forward to watching it, and you guys should all watch it. God bless James O'Keefe and work he's doing. What do you think will come of this? Best case scenario for us? Nothing. That's what I think will come of it. Nothing will happen. This is it's a political piece. You should take it politically. You guys are the implements of change. Crusader Saracen says, have you ever heard of the indie sci-fi author Bradford C. Walker on Twitter? Nope. This fellow Minnesota boy. Feel you could have him, you and him could have a great stream discussion on culture, entertainment, escapism, and its prospects for the future. I don't know who he is. Email me. Bradford C. Walker. Sounds great. Night of Hope X says, remember how I said people on the left will turn killer when they don't get their way? Boogie is demonstrating this yet again. This is no personal accountability on the left. They're children who don't understand consequence. We have to recognize this. Is Boogie a leftist? I don't know anything about him. Bad Dragon Knight says, poor, sweet, innocent boy Frank was just visiting his friend Sam when Boogie saw him frolicking down the street and pointed a gun at him, SMDH. Piebake says, for curiosity's sake, does writing that amicus brief open you up to being pulled into the lawsuit? No, not in any particular way. I was already open to being pulled into the lawsuit the moment I organized Rekieta Media in Texas. And, you know, they can decide if they want to bring me in Texas. Go ahead. I guess if that's what they want to do, it's a terrible, terrible plan. Josh says, if you ever wanted an indication of Ron's functioning at all you have to do is compare how normal people use Twitter to what Ron gets up to and thinks on a daily basis. Your friendly neighborhood psychologist. Look, I would talk about what Ron does on a daily basis, but the reason I have to use my tweets as a reference for Ron is because he tweets so much that it's actually embarrassing. Bradford Walker says, I'm actually lurking in chat most nights. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Email me. I'd love to talk to you, man. I'd love to talk to you. That'd be awesome. Mercenary X says, you forget about Peggy's psychological issues, particularly Peggy being Ron, I guess, his abuse that he suffered and PTSD. Everybody knows about that. No, that's Boogie. Everybody that knows about this, that Boogie has it and couldn't provocating him be in Boogie's defense, since he talked about it and Frank knows he was attacked before. I mean, it goes towards the harassment. It goes towards the harassment, but it doesn't, I don't think it doesn't go towards him pulling a gun on someone. Boogie might be not able to own a gun under federal or state law. Like, that's the crazy thing. And I mean, when I say own, I mean, not just own, but not even be in possession of. Comfy Couch says, remember the case of Byron David Smith? The guy shot 2 teens that were repeatedly breaking into his house. He reported it and the cops didn't do much, so he waited for the kids to break in and shoot them. Feel bad for the guy once you read his history. Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. He also, I mean, the audio did that guy in. Because he shot and incapacitated one of the kids. And then he, like, went back and murdered them later. And that was probably, and he was taunting them the entire time. Now, kids are being dicks and assholes again, but he shot them and then walked away, and then he came back, and like the kid's like, no, bam! You're never going to sell that to a jury. You're never going to sell that to a jury. Mercenary X says, let me add that Boogie has been attacked via rape and sexual assault. Seriously, I don't see how Frank, knowing all this, should be given a pass, considering Frank targets people like that. Frank does take things too far. I agree. I think Frank did take this too far. He may be guilty of harassment. At the same time, that's not the same. That's not justification for Boogie pulling a gun on him. Like, those are two separate things. And Frank is lying about the girls. I don't pay any mind to what an admitted troll says about Boogie. Like, that's not, whether or not it's funny is a different question. Frank lying about the girls, again, is irrelevant to the legal determination of whether or not Boogie should have pulled the gun on Frank. I don't think he should have. I think Boogie should have closed the door, kept the Ring camera on, and called the cops. They said the cops were coming. They don't have any recording of the cops being called. I don't know that the cops were called. They don't have recordings of the cops showing up, to my knowledge. Maybe they do. But man, he could have handled that in a different way. But he was going for internet tough guy points, it looked like to me. And internet tough guy points are not always the best legal decision. But internet people have to make a business decision as well. And Boogie may have made the business decision to do what he did. That's accepting risk. And that's okay. You can accept risk, but you may be wrong. All right. Silky Johnson says, Ron seems like the kind of guy that cries while writing his angry thoughts of you into his cock-shaped diary, while at the same time writing his secret love of cock in his also cock-shaped diary. I don't know. Seems like everything with him involves cock. Yami says, I'm shocked Ron got through that kid's 7 proxies. Silky Johnson says, I was reading an old Nintendo Power I found, and it had an article about Doug and a poster he drew for the latest, at the time, Earthworm Jim game. I can email you a pic of the poster if you want. It's pretty good and it's cool to see. Wonder if he remembers. Yeah, send it to me. That would be great. Night of Hope X says, Ron's biggest sin, still believing that he can convince a Clydesdale to hop over the threshold. Can't teach a fat horse new tricks. Though, I mean, if you go through the trouble of building a bed in a barn, I guess you could put it right by the door. That's great. That's great. Ease Bluntman, I haven't looked for the police report yet. This kind of came up last minute in my day, and I wasn't able to grab stuff like that. Changas Khan says, they say communism is the very definition of failure. Ron is a textbook example of a failure of a human being. Is Ron also a dirty gay commie? I think so. I think so. That's pretty obvious. Everybody poops. Welcome to the paralegal program. Welcome. Enjoy. Kiss on my ass says, your opinions on the injunction to Trump TikTok ban. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at all. I don't have an opinion on it. Overlord VHS sent a sticker, an emoji with some glasses. Phoenix Lord Asterman says, how long until the Greer Stream Kiwi edition? Very soon. Very soon. Rock Spirit, welcome to the paralegal membership program. I appreciate it. Rust Davey says, free Julian Assange. Say his name. Julian Assange? Tengen Ken says, everybody mad about Coco and Hato. Meanwhile, I'm just waiting for Sakura Miko to come back. Have more dollary dues. Law husbando. I think I'm going to create a grift goal to create a VTuber of myself. That's the next logical step, right? 26 Jaeger says, Xeon #1. I won't make anyone else do it. Cross fingers. Anonymous Anglo says, Frank is great. Boogie should go to jail. Kiwi Goes Live says, Boogie is innocent. The gun was fired, but the bullet got trapped in Boogie's gravitational field and orbited him. Frank was never at risk. Malachi Gaming says, wouldn't Frank's actions of crossing state lines to harass Boogie on his property be felony stalking? Here's the problem with that. We have no evidence that Frank crossed state lines to harass Boogie on his property. Frank said, I'm going to bother you in public. Going to bother you in public. Boogie told Frank to come to his property. Come and find out, fucker. Right? Like, that was Boogie's proposition. But we have no actual indication that Frank intended to cross state lines for the purpose of going to Boogie's property. And Frank actually set up a decent defense. I'm here visiting friends. here visiting friends. He let Boogie invite him after that. So I don't think that will be felony stalking. Cellrock says Frank Hassell did nothing wrong. He's a Navy veteran that served our country to defeat ISIS. Give some respect to that man. Thank you for your service. Reventian says support our veterans like Frank Hassell, and then a salute. Malachi Gaming says if only Boogie had a swamp like Nick and Cherkun. Get yourself a swamp. Cormoran says my favorite part was when the fat guy called the other fat guy fat. Also, now we need a Boogie 2988 mod for Max Payne. Hashtag Boogie shot first and 8 last. Cellrox says Boogie got off easy. He does not know what a meanie veteran like Frank Hassell is capable of. In fact, he's un-American for pointing a gun at him. Commandant VHS says, hail from Arkansas. Frank is scummy. Boogie a gem. There you go. Death Trout says, found out this weekend I've had pneumonia for almost a year. Tried to go to the doctor several times and I was told I had to do phone appointments because I had a cough on the mend. Good luck, buddy. Last Vandalier, super lawyer level. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you. ID MILF says, Nick, you're a saint. Thank you for your service. Cellrock says, the arrogance of Boogie makes me feel for Frank Hassell. He suffered through several IEDs for our freedoms. Our veterans do not deserve this. Metal Triforce Gamer says, strange anime arc, 2 fat men playing chicken. Pocket Full of War says, this is why dueling needs to make a comeback. If you're being brazenly stalked and antagonized like this, you deserve the chance to kill them. That's a good argument for dueling. It really is. I like it. Nerdy Sweetie Peachy says, it's sad that Ron got outsmarted by a 9-year-old. It's like the saddest thing ever. Oh, Nick, did you get the picture of Ron I sent you? Can you show it? I don't know what picture that is. Max Boof says, is it wrong that I want them both to die? No. Literally everyone says, if Ron came to my house like Frank, I'd smack him with a TV remote. That is a clear and specific threat that I'm fully capable of carrying out. Viden the Coleman says, Nick, you cannot silence me. I want a ship date for that bathwater or I riot. Just a minute, I have to pee in it. Fred Rush MD says, I don't always threaten to kill someone, but when I do, I like to drag my best friend into it and make him an accomplice. That one guy says, Frank looks a bit like Sam Hyde. That one guy, he can't keep getting away with this. Okay, are we sure this isn't Sam Hyde? I have no evidence that Frank Hassell is not Sam Hyde. Rhinosaurus Rex says, Boogie about to be Bubba's new pocket pussy. Dark Soul says, you know how you get rid of trolls? Stop giving them attention. Yes. Cynic in Chief says, defusing Frank would be to invite him in to coffee. Yeah. I mean, there were all sorts of ways that could have gone down that didn't involve a gun. Fast Game Master says, I am still subscribed to Boogie 2988. He is known for his funny Francis videos. Nowadays, he's been getting worse ever since Boogie and his wife got divorced. That'll do it, man. That'll ruin dudes. That'll ruin dudes. Bad Vibe says, grifting is a hard R word and needed censored. Twilight Dragon 3 says, can the child's parents sue or charge Ron? Not under any theory that I'm aware of, but they could call him up and say, you fucking idiot. Nerdy Sweetie Peachy. Dox your Twitter to the stream. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I just need to know what your Twitter handle is. I'm sorry. Okay. Here we go. Corinthus says, I think Ron needs to be put in his high chair in the corner again until he calms down. I agree. No one important says you underestimate Ron Spurgness. This is the same man who threw thousands upon thousands of money just to see if Vic knew anything about the GoFundMe and you. What a waste of time. What a waste of time and money that was. Sakagi Onsai says, big brain panel soon. Would love to see P and Josh. I got to check with Mr. Birch. Past couple he hasn't been able to make. I got to see if he's able to stream again. He's great. He's great. S. Cybertaz says, Ron going to hire someone Walter Subcheck at the kid's house. He's no dude, not even Donnie. He's just Ronnie. She's thick and leaves an oil slick. Toye. Ugh. Orgasmic Whale says, bruh, I don't care. I will force feed Nick Rekieta liquor on December 15th, 2020. This isn't a joke. It is a written threat. I dare you, buddy. Come try. Timberwolf Sniper says, here's a Nuke show suggestion. Have him on with Drex and see if he can convert him to the VTuber religion. Dude's chaotic good. Play into it. Should be fun. AP779 says, Ron, the type of dude who gets mad at you for getting mad at him for being a D-bag. Redrick Lasser says, the shut up about everything is about her constantly yelling about political stuff all the time. My sister came down to tell us to stop fighting when she said, fuck you to her. Oh, damn. Damn. Brian Ateran says, Nick, watch yourself around Drex. He said something on Q's stream. I saw that. That son of a bitch moving in like a snake. Also, Brian, I think you're the one who sent me the gift. I did get it today. I will wear it on a stream very soon. Wendell 2020 says, hi, Nick. Anything new on the Vic stuff? If not, that's fine. Great stream anyway. Yeah, the only new thing is I filed the amicus brief today. That's it. Now we wait for the court. All of the filings that I know of occurring have occurred, and we'll see what happens. Dark Soul says, remember Boogie said rapists are better people than those trolling him? And Colfie 2A wannabe Hunan Muhammad says, is Ron smarter than a 5th grader? No, he's not even as smart as a 4th grader. And says, Wendell 2020 says, what are you going to do for the 90,000, 100,000 sub specials? Better be good, Nikki. I think I said I would do a 24-hour stream at 100K subs. I didn't have anything planned for 90,000, and I was almost there, and I ruined it by uploading a bunch of videos, and now my subs I lost 500 subscribers that day. So, RIP to me. RIP. I don't know if 100,000 is going to occur today. So, there you go. All right, guys. That's it. That's it for the show today. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Let's get this outro started and then come over to Twitch. We'll watch a movie. I don't know which movie yet. I'm sorry. I just don't know. I haven't looked. I haven't looked at what's available. We're going to watch something good. I hope you guys have a good night. Gelf, can the banks just close your bank accounts with no reason? Kinda. Kinda in the US. Alright, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
Tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitter and Erlang. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the
Phoenix
wife
Lord
of a
Asperman,
lawman, she makes sure
I've briefly
that he has
perused
the
about
time and the
Ethan
place
Ralph.
to
I'll have to
provide
watch
for
the whole
them
thing.
there. So pour out an art bag, a bow, more of love rug. Spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. we hear lost painting tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the thought better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, to make the law